Okay, this is the city of Danath on the continent of Tramar on the world of Baranath. Baranath is an ancient world that has had many what the occupants have called calamities and that we might call apocalypses. Three in recent memory, and the last was 5,000 years ago. This city, the city of Danath, is called the greatest city in the world. It is so large that you cannot walk its length in a day. It is its current government has held the city for over 2,000 years, and its walls have remained unbreached by war in over 1,000. In the center of Danath, here is a massive artifact left by the First Ones, also called the Elders. It is a tower that reaches above the clouds and that resists people who try to climb it. Surrounding the tower here is an ancient wall, also built by the First Ones, that our party investigated in the most recent sessions and found to be a power source of some kind for the tower. The tower itself was called a port. This is the most information that has been recovered about the Elders since the last calamity, and nobody quite knows what to do with it. Our party has in it a wandering ranger who's has set themselves up to stop visitors from other planes affecting this world, a bard of the Shadow School, a paladin, a tiefling monk, a sorcerer of a noble family, and a druid from the depths of the Godswood. So now I'll give it over to our players to introduce their characters a little bit more in depth. By dint of character name, we'll go first with Alwyn.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Alwyn. I'm a 5-foot night elf who tends to stick to the outdoors, likes sticks to his friends as much as possible, but tends to like the outdoors a bit more than the city. But has made a life change recently and moved into the city and moved in with the friendly friends.
And who are the friendly friends, Alwyn?
These bunch of crazies that are currently banded up in a old fixer-upper of a hotel/bar that we're currently fixing up with the dwarves. But no, we're just trying to work out life as living in the city and warding off evil.
Cool.
That'll do.
And just to play fair, and not because this is how I've ordered the windows, Zar, do you want to tell the people who you are?
Yep, sure. I'm Zar. I'm a night elf bard. I'm a bastard daughter of a noble of one of the large houses. And my family don't obviously recognise me as part of the family other than my father, who gets me to do odd jobs on the side for the family and sort of going around gathering information in sometimes places I shouldn't be gathering information in. And yeah, I like to sing my party some songs as we're playing. I sort of ascribe to sort of the shadow sort of things. I have a lot of psychic magic and stuff that I like to throw about.
Okay, do you want to explain what your father's house does?
So my father's house are sort of in intelligence, but the intelligence that we gather is outside the city. There is another house that gathers intelligence inside the city. So some of my dealings inside the city that I do for my family are not considered okay.
Okay. And now, Rogar, would you like to introduce your character?
Not really. I've got a mouthful of food.
Okay. You know what? That's a valid reason.
really is.
Quasi, why don't you tell us about Tolban?
Alright, so I play Tolban, who is a 7 foot tall furbolg that's a little bit like Norse trolls, made of flesh, not rock, but hideously ugly, big bulbous nose, big ears, red tufty hair. He plays a druid come down from the Godswoods in the north, hates cities, and would be an eco-terrorist given the option.
Given the option.
Given the option.
He's not.
Castellan, would you like to introduce yourself? You are not speaking yet. You're not vocal. Why don't we go to Warden?
Hello.
Can you hear me now, Ryan?
I can.
Yes.
I can.
Oh my god.
Go, Castellan.
Alright. I don't know what the hell is going on with my push to talk, but it is just not doing it for me today.
Yeah. Also, just before we go any further, if you are watching, and I can see we have 5 people watching, that's great. Thanks very much. Make sure that you say hello in the chat. We'll love it. But this game uses strong language and adult language, and will deal with adult themes. So if you do have kinder in the room, please consider that. I'm not saying that because Gaz is just about to talk. I'm saying that just in general.
I said you were, Ryan.
Castellan, go ahead and tell us who your character is.
Yeah, so my character is Castellan Rancine of House Rancine. House Rancine is the house that Zar mentioned before. They're like the internal secret police of the city. So they do the dirty work inside the city. Castellan is estranged from her house because of a disagreement that she had with her father. And so now she's on a quest to gain power so that she can return, defeat her father, and teach him a lesson.
Okay. Warden, you're next. This is
Hello.
Sorry, one sec, Warden. This is a time warning for Rogar. Go ahead.
Still eating, but also trying to reset my password so that I can get my video coming through Roll20.
Okay.
Ready? Yeah. Okay, so hi, I'm Warden. I'm a tiefling, so I have thin, I'm very, very tall, very, very thin. If you picture Stephen Merchant with horns and brick red skin, you'll probably have that. I am a monk, as has been said, which is essentially a martial artist. So if you picture in your brain a wuxia film, Hong Kong action movie, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, I get up to all that bouncy, jumpy, spinny crap to annoy the DM. It is, I think I'm on about a 50-50, totally awesome, totally ridiculously terrible kind of record, which is a good record to be when you're playing a monk. Like, you want to flip that coin. Am I going to be amazing and great and save the day, or is everyone going to have to come and drag my unconscious body out of the fight? Warden grew up on a trade caravan, so DM can step in and correct me because I'm about to be describing his world. But the tiefling caravans here work as post and trade and various other things between cities. There's not a lot of there's no tourists in this world. People don't generally go wandering around.
No. Well, except for the very rich, but then that's true in any world.
Yeah. And I was seen as a bad omen when I was born. Lots of horrible things happened on the night I was born, so I've kind of wandered off and been left with some monks who've taught me how to beat people up, which is handy. And so I have a personal grudge against any slavers. So there's a group in the city called the Broken Chain, and their aim is to eradicate slavery. So you'll notice that, for instance, when we start fights, if we're not 100% sure that someone is evil and a baddie, I'm generally going for non-lethal damage until such time as someone says, "Oi, we'd better go back and make sure those slaves are okay," in which case all bets are off. And I also have no concept to the idea of money other than as something you can give to people to make them, to help them out, which is great because I, through natural Brownian motion, became the group's treasurer. So there's been a lot of instances where people have gone, "Quick, look after this money," and I'll just keep this bit for myself because I don't know what you're going to do with it.
Okay, so a couple of things that... Rogar, are you ready to describe yourself?
You keep doing that as soon as I take a mouthful of food. I'm ready to talk.
In his defense, he warned you this time.
Yeah, but then you took so long. Warden.
I know, right?
I
just
figured,
started
I could get a
jabbering and
mouthful of food
jabbering.
in, right? I'm hungry. Okay, Rogar is a Dragonborn paladin. He's been with the group since the start of this little group that we've put together. He has another mission outside of that within the city that's a little bit private, but he's been working away at that. He is quite young, slightly overconfident, a little bit brash, and not the typical goody two-shoes that you would expect of a lot of paladins, but compared to certain other people in the party, definitely a goody two-shoes.
Okay. Yeah, certainly compared to some. So
Yes, definitely.
we will. I'll just
Looking at you, Castellan.
I'll just briefly talk about the differences in the character races between my original my content, the world that I've created, and D&D. So Castellan, Zar, and Alwyn are all what are called moon elves, but you guys might know them as Drow. Drow is considered a pejorative racist term to use, and it's very much frowned upon. Especially considering that the nobility of this city are all moon elves. Moon elves don't suffer from contact with sunlight, so they're not at disadvantage in sunlight, but as a consequence of that, I've also removed their ability to cast darkness as a spell. So that's structurally a difference. Tieflings in this world are, as Warden has said, generally speaking, an itinerant population that moves between city to city, town to town, taking news and post the mail, that sort of thing. I've just completely forgotten. What's your race called again, Quasi? It's gone right out of my head. Furbolgs. Yeah, Furbolgs are Furbolgs, generally speaking. They still live isolated lives deep in forests, very connected to the natural world. Just before we get off, I'd like to just go over some of our house rules so that people watching the stream understand what's happening when it happens, because our players already know them. I'll go as quickly as I can and still be understandable. The rule of cool always applies. If I ask for a perception check, but one of the players believes that they've see a cool or thematic way that investigation works, I'll ask them to explain it to me, and then if it is cool, I'll allow it. Natural 20s are always good and will always have a positive effect. Likewise, natural 1s are always bad and will always have a negative effect. Short rests are 4 hours and long rests are 8 hours. Charging, anyone can charge, and it has a particular effect within the game that we'll go over if the situation occurs. That doesn't matter because they're already above level 5. A 20 on a death save counts for 2 positive, but a 1 doesn't count for 2 negative because I'm not a total bastard. You can chain your actions in a cinematic way as long as you can come up with a cool way that makes sense. Currency is slightly different here. 10 of that coin type is a crown, so 10 gold pennies is 1 gold crown. And great or inventive roleplay or cool descriptions is always rewarded. I like to give my players an extra D4 to add to their next die 20 roll as a reward for good roleplay or good actions or playing to their characters' weaknesses. Okay, so most recently, the characters had finished up an investigation that they were sort of dragged into by dint of fulfilling a favour that they owed to somebody called Tolvo. Tolvo had asked them to investigate somebody who was missing. Later on, it appeared that this person might have been in an intimate relationship with Tolvo, and the characters struck out and they found them, but because of doing that, they got dragged into a wider thing that was happening. In the end, it appeared that the Gate Lords, Illidan Agaldor, had been skimming off the taxes to the tune of about 750,000 gold. And he was doing so because the Duke of the city has fallen ill. And the city's governance is determined by a council of electors. Whenever the Duke dies, they elect another Duke from the royal houses to that position. And then the Duke then forgoes all connections to their previous house and becomes the lord of the city. So the Duke is sick, and Illidan Agaldor was collecting money to buy favours. During the course of this investigation, they found that there was another third party also trying to gain influence in the city that they've simply been able to determine is called an outsider. And the outsider seems to infect people in some way. Depending on how long they've infected, things can happen to them, like their blood will turn black, their eyes will be black, they'll be filled with crystalline structures inside of them. If you kill them, they might explode, things like that. Eventually, they found an entrance into a portion of the wall, which was momentously important because nobody has done that in recorded history. Through this investigation, they found all of the money that Illidan Agaldor had been hiding away inside of this trove. He then confronted the team, and then they found that whatever had originally happened to him, he was no longer Illidan Agaldor. Eventually, they defeated him and returned, and were questioned by the Mage's Tower and by the Keltor Nth, which is the secret city, the secret police of the city. They were told after this investigation that they had perhaps 2 weeks and they would need to come to a decision as to whether or not they wanted to leave the city, which was highly recommended because regardless of what he had become, he still was a High Lord of the city, one of the 12 ruling lords of the city, and they had killed him. And generally speaking, people that carry that sort of power don't like it when little people turn around and kill them. So they were told to... They were highly suggested that they might want to leave the city. And that's where we have... that's where we left the last session. So they've returned home, slept the night through. Some of them have been to see about upgrading their arms and armor. And we now come back into the game. So guys, what do you want to do? It's the next morning. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I don't know how I forgot it. Everybody had a dream. They all shared the same dream, but they don't know that. And the dream was of two knights clad in golden armor, carrying weapons of gold that had bright lights, fighting something that came from what seemed to be a magical portal. And this thing was amorphous, and it was at one, depending on how you looked at it, it was either all hard edges or blobby, and it would reach out with pseudopods that were either knife-like or had claws. And then they woke up. So, guys, what do you want to do?
Get up, trudge outside, and start tending to his flower bed, mulling on the dream. But he always has weird dreams because he likes to eat mushrooms. So yeah, he's just outside tending his garden.
Okay. So Tolbin wakes up early in the morning, is out tending his mushroom garden.
So it was a weird dream, but not outside of your usual parameters.
Pretty much.
Was the tone of the "you should not be in town" like "be gone, sell your shit and don't come back," or maybe it'd be an idea to not be here for a bit?
It was stick around for a while we do our investigation and then skedaddle because you probably might cop some wrath of some of the houses.
Pretty much, yeah.
But a perma skedaddle, like this is no longer your city kind of thing.
Sounded kind of temporary to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
it's out of temporary.
yeah. So the tone, I'll because I don't think you were there, Warden. I'll let you know that the tone was very much. It might be best if you weren't here for a little while. Like, let things calm down, and head out of the city. But it certainly wasn't an order, and you guys are more than welcome to stay in the city. Maybe get involved with the election process. That's really up to you.
Warden's like, well, if they reckon we should go and it's going to be a pain in the butt, like I'm comfortable with being a bit wandery for.
Tolbin has a little club that looks like it's made out of vines that look like they're from the Godswood, which is far up north. So he'll table that idea as, hey, we could go up and visit the Godswood.
That makes Warden very happy. I don't think he's really been to that area of the world too much, so he's keen.
Alwyn's keen to get out of the city.
Zara was keen to go and see her father before we leave the city to see whether or not there's anything that my family needs doing while we're out.
I was going to say for Zara, we could get some wood for that instrument that you wanted.
Yeah, I want to go to either the Godswood that we created just outside of town because they might actually like me a little bit better, or the original one as well if we're going that far, to try and get some Godswood for my musical instrument.
Okay, I mean these are all viable. These are all. It's as the C team are want of saying it's D&D, motherfucker. You can do what you like. So,
Do you mind bringing up the world map, just so that we can have some perspective?
sure can. Whoa, my screen's chugging.
I have my paper one. That doesn't help you guys though.
It's actually
We got pushed
there.
forward.
We go. It's in color now. Sorry, stream. All right, there we are. So this is where the party is in the city of Dathian. This is the Godswood, the home of the Wild Elves.
That did not update on my screen.
No, neither.
It took a little while on mine. Like it's on the stream, not on the.
Yeah, there
okay.
it goes.
There we go.
There
Oh
we go.
God, I have to do everything.
Guess you do.
Um,
Pretty much.
Thus is the life of a DM.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think back to last session as well, and what was mentioned. There was another town mentioned.
So it wasn't last session. I think, are you talking about the gold?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
So the gold is from Marksburg here. It's stamped with the royal seal.
Oh, that's right. I got a bunch of gold. That
Sorry. Stamped with the royal seal down here. Willertan Hold. Marksburg is
One of the
for
places on the map. Yeah.
Marksburg is for something later. Don't worry about
Right.
Marksburg.
Let's go
Frantically
Marksburg.
writes notes. Marks.
That our characters will be alive later.
Your
You just-
mic is horrible, Crazy.
Sorry.
That's better.
Does that need better?
Yeah,
That's heaps better, yeah.
Okay.
It's very crackly and faint.
Still?
No, it's good now.
Okay, cool.
So we've got a bunch of gold. Why don't we hire some artisans to do stuff for our house?
Already done.
Yeah, we've
Okay.
got some.
Oh,
That's
no.
happening?
We've got some dwarves working on it.
The dwarves are going to basically make the bottom level a bar, like a sort of drinking place. The second level will be done into a sort of motel where people can stay. We're getting one of those funky doors that we've got at the front put between the second level and third level so people can't get into our shit. And we've hired someone to basically run the place for us.
Well, there go my suggestions.
That's right. Someone was going to go up to the Mage's Tower to find out more about the what is it? Leviathan, the World Dragon.
Oh, pick me.
Specifically,
Oh, Cortana, shut up. I mean, Cortana is a great tool and everyone should use it.
yeah, Shah Ana,
1 second,
the
Squire.
World Dragon of Water. I believe.
That's right. I wrote notes last time.
Yeah, so
Yep.
did I.
Shah Ana.
Yeah,
Also-
Shah Ana. We're going to go up to the Mage's Tower to find out some more information about, well, any of the 4
We could also
dragons.
the library and do our own research there in case they want.
Do you guys want to explain maybe to Warden what a world dragon is?
Oh, he totally knows.
I mean, there's context clues. I can kind of imagine it. But after breakfast and a brief discussion, and it seems that we've decided we're going and where we go, Warden doesn't really mind. He's going to go back and start leafing through his book.
Okay.
That's right. Your special book.
It's called Sir Luther Strode's Contractual Book of Constitutional Exercises to Improve Young Tieflings' Physical Prowess.
It's actually not what it's called. That's all that fits on the front page. It is a tiefling contract, so it is actually all one very, very long sentence. It doesn't stop. It just keeps going.
That's all it fits on the front page. It's a very big font.
Yep.
It's a very loopy
Or a very small
kind of
book.
font.
Yeah.
Or it's a really small page.
And so realizing what it is, and I'll just get a couple of like mechanical queries to the DM, but basically, does this require 100% meditative attention, or it's
No.
balked, or is it just a general like you need to be reading this thing, and if something happens and you put it down for a bit and you come back to it?
So you can't put it down for a bit. It requires concentration in the same way that a concentration spell does.
Cool.
So-
And if that gets broken, it's a restart.
It's a restart.
Well, I do have a +4 saving throw on my wisdom, so that doesn't suck. So yeah, I think that our Warden is going to sort of go, all right, and just start reading. So now for the rest of the morning, while you guys are all doing whatever it is you're doing, everywhere Warden goes, he's got... Do I have a small book near me? Can't believe the one room in this house that I don't have a small book right next to me.
It would be, Warden, the size of a graphic novel if you have a graphic novel around you.
I couldn't imagine him having a graphic novel in the house.
Not in this room. I have something of a roughly similar size. This is my
Perfect.
smart clay pot cooker.
Perfect.
But
And
all morning you're getting this as Warden's walking around.
I love
And
it.
the occasional looking over,
I love
grabbing a drink.
So we also wanted to investigate Marb.
it. Sure.
Specifically, some more information, maybe from speaking throughout the city to the random street smarts that I've got. Find out more about the gnolls that we saw. That where are they from? Who'd be giving them orders, and are they? Is it Fey or Fang or Fiend related, rather?
So, another difference between this world and most D&D worlds is that the Fiendish and Devilish plane has no direct contact with this world. So fiends on this plane here are very, very rare. Generally, what takes the place of fiends and devils hey, there he is. Look at that big, sexy bastard, you.
Hey.
That's weird. I still can't get it on my main screen, but oh well.
Hey, man, it works. Look at you.
Missing half a
pretty.
bit online.
It
Okay,
means that I'm going to be looking at this screen and I won't be looking at that camera.
that's okay. It's your good side.
Right. Yeah, this side's terrible.
That's an interesting look you got going on there, Warden.
Yeah, on my main feed now.
I'm trying to swap out to my wireless headset because I might have to duck up and down a couple of times, and I don't want to forget and hang myself.
So
Live on the internet, you should totally do that for comedy gold.
the place of fiends and devils are taken by the Fae, the She and the Banshee. Basically, the She are the Fae of the Summer Court, and the Banshee are the Fae of the Winter Court. So you know that much for free. That's sort of institutional law, because the Fae are the boogeymen of this world. You know, mothers tell children to behave, or that the Fae will come and get them.
They're the boogeyman of most worlds, so that's fair.
So, how do you guys want to progress, go forward, go forth, etc.?
Well,
So, Brian, that dream that we all had,
Mm-hmm.
was there any like recognizable landmarks or anything like that? that we
You
could try?
can make me, young Castellan, let's have a look at your character. Oop.
And given that I've actually been outside the city, supposedly in my work and stuff like that, could I also make some sort of...
You can make me an investigation, or it's really insight. Sorry to say, you can make me insight check.
Dog.
You
Yeah.
want to do that?
Me also, I can't
Yep, you can
use
make it.
investigation.
No, it's insight.
might
You
I
check-
as well?
Uh,
We all?
you might all, yes, indeed.
You want inside check.
God damn it.
I'm very insightful about this dream.
Did you? Is that a natural one? It is. It's a natural one. Oh boy.
Crazy.
Mara and myself.
Oh
Oh, there's
boy.
two of them.
Am I the only one being
What's
insightful here?
Yeah.
yeah,
That
Rogar.
doesn't make any sense at all.
Rogo with 16.
Tolman has +4 to insight. That's nasty. Okay,
But still
so
rolled a 1.
Rogar, we'll deal with the positive first. You
Close the door.
the more that you go over this dream in your mind, the more that you realize that this was not an ordinary dream, that this might have been ascending, and it's not something that you quite understand fully, but you know that from time to time people will get dreams like this, sendings, where something important is happening that they're linked to somehow, and they'll get this dream. Zar, you remember a story that your mother used to tell you of these knights who were of an order called the Silver Sun, and they and it's a fairy tale, right? It's a series of fairy tales told to young children. I don't know. Can you speak, Borden?
I
Can't
can't hear him.
No.
Can't hear you, buddy.
He's
Nope.
talking. There's no audio.
You might need to change the audio source in Discord, mate. If you've changed audio sources. So Yeah, these are story. They're like 1001 Tales, right? The Arabian Nights tales, tales told to young children, especially young noble children, of this saintly order of knights that adhered to no particular god or particular faith, but would. The moral of the story was always personal sacrifice and, giving things up for the greater good. This was always the story. Crazy. All you could focus on was the land surrounding this castle was scorched and burnt and dead, and it seemed to you like a dead place, a place that you wouldn't want to go. Warden, 21. Insane. I can't hear you, but...
he said he's resetting Discord, so he probably actually won't hear it.
Gotcha. We can hear you. Well, we could hear you. Now we can't.
I can't hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah. You might want to turn your mic up.
Oh, Twitch is horrible.
Okay, so Warden, with a 21, you remember a story of you. So the first thing that you remember is that when you, in your vision, you sort of followed the knight and followed what he looked at, and when he looked up into the night sky, it looked like the night sky that you see, but things seemed shifted. The stars were in different positions, but like as if you were in a different part of the same world, not as if you were in a different world.
So we've narrowed it down to the same world. Great.
You also
We know exactly where to go.
you also
Helpful.
remember clearly that that these knights had small interlinked silver circles placed about their body in numerous places. This clearly indicated to you that this was some sort of organization signal or uniform stamp, something like that.
Can we reproduce that?
You can
and maybe ask around using that.
You can certainly draw two interlinked circles. Sure.
Is that all it is? Yeah,
Two interlinked circles stamped in silver on this gold armor.
Thanks for that.
The other thing that you remember is that these two beings were sun elves.
Okay, where do sun elves live in this world?
The sun elves on this continent live down here in Far Larian.
Yeah, right. Okay. So it'll take a couple of days to walk down there. Maybe that's where we should go.
A couple of days.
It took us a couple of days just to get to the outskirts of the city.
Yeah. All right, 3 days. Fine.
I'm afraid you guys don't have Kate Welch in your team, so you don't get to transport around willy-nilly.
But we can try.
Okay, so that's what you got. So you have information about places up here in the Godswood, here in Willowtan Hold, and down here in Far Larian.
Well, I reckon.
Is sea travel much more dangerous than land travel in this place? Like, can we try to go by boat and be a bit quicker, or is that not a good...
Well, you're on the west coast and everything you're looking at is on the east coast. Sorry, other way around. East coast, you're on west coast that you need to go to. So you would need to travel down. Things get real dicey down here. The waters don't act normally. Things like fish jump out of boats and try and bite fishermen. It's a little topsy turvy.
I mean, it's literally called the Waste, so that's probably a bad.
Where the evil.
And do we know how far out that spell wall actually goes from the coast either?
So
They can just sail around it, right?
yeah, you can literally sail around.
Okay.
The spell wall ends at the shore because it appears that the wasting growth doesn't leave, it doesn't like the water. It doesn't go into the water.
Right. So anyone could just sail around the wall, or even just paddle around it on the edge.
Sure,
there,
yeah.
the coast.
And people
To get into
have.
that waste area.
And people have. And if you want to try and remember what happens to them, you can try and roll me a history check, Jamie.
Yeah, all right. My history's about as good as my insight, so it's a decent chance of this actually going well. Yeah,
Wow.
look at that.
Yeah,
15.
nice.
What happens to him?
So you both remember the same thing. Nothing in particular, but anytime anything living touches that isle or that peninsula, it is consumed by the growth that is held back by the spell wall.
Oh, like
So-
straight away.
Yeah, pretty much straight away. People have lasted longer by encasing themselves in metal, but there's no such thing as a perfectly. They don't have, Mop 4 plastic suits in the fantasy world of Baraneth. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's not go there. Well, Warden's talking, I think, but it's really quiet.
Okay, I'll bump up my volume.
Yeah, crank it all the way.
Crank it to 11.
It goes all the way up to 11.
Why not just have 10 as loud as 11? Because then it wouldn't be 11. I only watched that for the first time, last year.
Oh, wow.
Is that too hot, or is that okay?
That's
No,
great.
that's good.
Better.
In
Could
fact,
be
that's
11.
perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
My question was, the way this waste is described, and I'm assuming none of us have witnessed it firsthand, is it anything like what happened to Old Mate and people who've been infected by this thing?
No. That was more crystalline. This is...
It's more the fell leaf kind of stuff, isn't it? We think maybe.
Yeah, if you could imagine, imagine a dark blob. No, it's like a gelatinous, mossy growth that just consumes everything. Anything that it touches, it consumes. Anything biological.
Yeah, okay. So just thought, guys, we're talking about leaving Dathian and probably for some time if we're talking about some of the places that we're now calling out, and we just like in the last 24 hours hired someone to manage the new inn business that is being run out of our home.
Yep.
Yeah,
was
that was
planned.
kind of the idea.
Is it a good
run
time
it
to
all.
be doing that? I mean, I know the
The
mate just
alternative-
wants to go away.
The alternative is staying here and potentially being killed. Like, it sounded like, get out of here, your life is in danger.
Was it? I'm struggling with my own memory now. Was it clear who we're in danger from?
Wasn't it?
You can make...
Probably the house of the lord that we killed.
Mm.
I mean,
All the lords didn't like the fact that we killed one of their own.
Even though he was a completely corrupted evil bastard stealing all their money. Yeah.
Correct.
That's not the point.
But it was still someone's dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose.
You can make an insight check if you want, Jamie. If you want to figure out why they might come after you.
I got to roll a 1.
Wow.
Well,
Oh,
consistently middle of the range rolls by my
that's
friends.
on the middle.
Warden. Yeah.
This
Uh,
doesn't
so,
bode well for
Rogar.
any combat that may happen today because
That's the middle of the road.
that's what all the ones are come out.
Okay, so you sit down and have a ponder about it, and you think that they just don't like the precedent, and
Yeah.
the common people should not be killing
Who are
the
you calling
Me-
common?
members of you. Quite clearly, you are an unrecognized child of a noble house. You may put on airs, but you are considered common and do not carry any of the protections of being a noble. But it's like it's pretty much they don't like the precedent, and they believe that you should be put back in your place, is what you're thinking. The mages are trying to tell you. It's you don't have enough patronage, you don't have enough power yet within the city to push back. You might if you stick around and fight through it, or you could go investigate something else.
Yeah. No, I'm totally in favour in nicking up for a while. I'm just, we'll come back and our home won't be here anymore, but so be it. We can trust
it will,
this
because
person that we just hired, I suppose.
she's a relative of Tolbo.
Relative, was it?
What's
Or just a
relative, is it?
recommendation
Or
from Tolbo?
No, her mother had worked for Tolvo for years,
Yeah, okay. That's
and had been a good employee.
all right. Well, maybe we at least touch base with Tolvo before we leave and let him know that we're going to be away for a while and to keep an eye on, as a favour, keep an eye on her just to make sure the business is going okay.
Okay.
well, I think it's in her best interest to make it go okay, given
Yeah,
that
it is. So
she's going to give us a
too hard.
portion of the profits.
Yep.
I was thinking we could also ask Tolvo about these knights in the golden armor.
He sells information. That's going to cost.
Well, we got some money,
I suppose.
despite your best efforts to give it all to the dwarves,
If we're going to be
Jamie.
going, I reckon we go across to the new Godswood that's near Dathian first, because that's where you guys want to go, and then head south towards Willerton Hold to maybe check out the source of that gold and if anything untoward's happening there, and then through to Far Larian to try and find the source of the vision we all just had. That's a hell of a lot of journey between there and there, but
I mean, there are ways of making it faster. I mean, you can travel to the river and then travel by river down to Mountain Home, or you can travel actually all the way down to here, and then you can hike down to Willowtan, and then river again a little bit.
yeah, maybe.
I need to stop doing that.
Between all of these.
There are roads, yes. I mean, there are some roads even in the area that you live in. We'll just go to a local map.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking before we leave the city, maybe if we could try and get some extra info about these knights and where and what they might have been doing, then maybe we actually have a better idea where we want.
Okay, so you guys want to go to the mage's library?
Yeah.
Seems like a good place.
Okay.
Sure.
I've got my book.
How is that going?
Is it good?
Did you know that when you exercise and your muscles hurt, it's because there's tiny demons in there making them feel.
On point. I love it. Okay. So so this is Jamie. I mean, you can see the world around. So you could go from here all the way down to the river and get a boat from about here. Well, actually, you probably.
I can't see it.
I'm
There
not
you go.
So you go up to here. Would probably
yeah.
be easier. That'd take you 3 or 4 days to get to there, and you can, sort of organize a boat here to take you all the way down to the city.
Is our fancy little Godswood on this map? Whereabouts is it?
Your
It's up
little
Black
gods.
Forest, isn't it? Oh, it's over there.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
it's directly north of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the Imperial Stand, this whole area is basically the Duke's Wood. It's his private domain. Doesn't mean that people can't go there. It just means they're not allowed to take anything out of it.
Yeah, he would be poaching in there.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'd deck you.
It's a bit soft. No.
Okay.
Did you hear about? I think it was a Polish lord. Sorry for the tangent, but it's hilarious. Wanted everyone to eat potatoes, and no one would eat the potatoes. So he set up, these are my potatoes. These are the king's potatoes, and you can't have them. And he made the guards deliberately lax and let them take bribes. And increase potato consumption by like hundreds of %.
Yeah. Everybody's a teenager. You can't do this. I'll show you. Okay, so you want to head out to the Mage's Tower.
The library.
Mage's Library, which is just next to the Mage's Tower.
Okay.
So the sea is full of water, and it's strong, so the water will make you.
All right, so you guys head to the Mage's Library, and as you enter, you are somewhat of a motley crew. So as you walk in, and it's a small room that's about 20 feet by 20 feet. It's the building itself is circular, but you walk into a cubed room, and the room is 40 feet on a side, and sitting like in about 20 feet in is a very plain desk with a young acolyte mage sitting down, wearing white robes, looks up and is very much unable to keep the look of distaste off his face as you walk in, and says, yes, the library is for members only.
I produce our piece of paper and say we are members.
Oh. Really? Very well. What?
I guess
Friends! And offers to shake a hand that's like the size of his head.
Very well. What sort of, research do you want to do today?
There's two things I believe we're after. We're looking for information on world dragons, and we're also looking for information on this symbol and showing a drawing sketch of the symbol that we found.
And,
Possibly in
and
relation
Marv.
to orders of knights.
Military orders. Yes, I suppose. Find that in the history of the world, I suppose. And world dragons. Folklore, I believe.
Well, do you have a folklore section where we can look that up?
Yes, it would be in the folklore section. Now, was there something else you were looking for?
Yes, the mob. The
folklore section as well.
looking for someone called Mob.
Anything you've got on the Fae.
Research into the Fae is somewhat restricted. You understand we can't simply be giving out information about the Fae. People would be
Is
calling.
that because you work for the Fae and they'll hurt you if you do? Why not?
Well, people would be calling them up willy-nilly if they knew how.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps you might want to speak to some of the higher mages and see whether or not they'll allow us access to some of these books. we've been known to be helping in this regard?
No, I don't think I shall. However, if you do require access to the Fae, simply you'll have to do it under the watch of an acolyte.
That's fine.
I also want to look on God's woods and God's vines, if there's such a thing.
Botany, I suppose.
Nah, but it's not just normal trees. It's godly trees, so it'd be under religion and stuff, yeah.
My dear fellow, nobody's ever proven a link between special properties and the woods of a godwood.
I would like to cast plant growth on his desk.
What are you trying to grow?
His desk back into a tree.
I don't think that spell does that.
Does he have a pot plant or a little shrubbery or a cactus?
No, it's a very plain desk.
Damn it.
If you're looking for any sort of plant
can't
life
hear you,
growing
Warden.
anywhere, you could probably find some on you.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I'll get some moss and put it on his desk and cast plant growth on it.
You only wash once a year, you know, if that. There's
Or a
probably
mushroom.
growing on you.
Look, you can. Yeah, all right. Sorry, Warden, you're
Completely and utterly mute.
yeah.
Yeah, he's talking, but
Yes.
that
No,
mic
he's
was
screaming,
cutting-
apparently.
That mic was cutting in and out before, so maybe it's dying.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
it's that.
basically, I want to stick it to this pompous little desk clerk that that plants are godly, and that you know, they are part of the divine and the balance of nature.
Yeah.
So yes.
So you throw down some moss, and it begins to grow in size. He's quite startled and reaches for the desk and rings a bell that he had on the desk. And as the local bell rings, you hear a gugum, and a larger bell rings at the same time that the smaller bell rings, and 3 mages in red robes come running through, their fingers crackling as they come running through doors.
I
step
I-
away from Tom.
I start patting the moss and just be like, "See, nature's wonderful and stuff." And for those watching, just to let you know, my charisma is at a -1.
Yeah, they sort of run in and the crackling along their hands stop as they're greeted by a massive pile of moss sitting on what was once a pristine desk, and that there's no bloodshed, and so they're sort of looking around and they're like, novice, what's happening here?
And they see a giant hippie just stroking this mound of moss.
Yeah.
Waxing lyrical on how beautiful it is.
And
So my friend here was just demonstrating how you can cast magic without having to read it out of a quaint.
do you want to make like an intimidate or a persuasion check on that, Castellan?
Yeah, why not?
What could possibly go wrong, right?
Exactly right.
That was
I'll
a
say
shit roll
it's
for
gonna
me.
be a 12.
Wow.
That was a pretty bad roll considering your plus 2 intimidation.
Okay. Wow. The mages are simply not impressed by you at all. And they're like,
Huh?
yeah,
Huh?
they look at you and they say, you'll need to agree to be bound against the use of magic while in these walls, or leave. They say that to Tolbin.
Me?
Yeah.
It's not magic. It's just nature, man.
They
I
don't
apologise
want
for
any
the
more
phrase,
moss.
It quite simply, sir. These are because of your actions. These now are the consequences. You are a member of apparent good standing with the library, and we understand that the young acolyte can be a bit of a dick, and he looks like affronted. No.
I'm like, right?
And they said, however, you have used magic in an area where there's not supposed to be any magic used. And then they sort of lean over and tap on the desk. And on the desk there are a set of rules written out. No magic used within these walls. No weapons allowed past the front door. Absolutely no fire under any circumstances ever
I'm sorry,
beyond these
what?
walls.
No weapons.
Castellan,
Front door?
that's you.
Okay, so broke a door rule.
Yeah, no fire.
No. Beyond these doors. So you can't.
Oh, right.
Once you go past here, you can't take a weapon with you.
I don't know about that.
You've been in before, Jamie.
I go and wait outside the library and the grounds, just looking at the plants and having a chat to them and stuff like that. I'm like, "You stupid books, and you torn up trees, and you."
Fair enough. Okay. Can I get you then? So who wants to go in?
Me.
Alwyn, you were talking a big game earlier. I guess you want to go in.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I wanna go in.
Want to go in? I want to start investigating these null.
Okay. So, what do you want to investigate? Who wants to investigate what?
I want to know more about Marb and like the fact that they were nulls that were getting orders from somewhere, and like they're mercenaries who needed to get paid from someone. So just wondering if there's any information in this library about where nulls generally get hired from and things like that.
So, you want to ask specifically about gnolls from the Fairylands? Okay.
Brian, I am interested in specifically in Leviathan, the World Dragon, and this order of.
Okay. And Zar, what were you interested in looking at?
Well, given my natural one earlier, I think that I'm like super focused on this dream, and that I've got to look up this Order of the Silver Sun and find the story about that, because that must be it. I distinctly remember it was exactly that story, and I want to refresh my memory.
Okay, so Rogar, did you want to look anything up?
He's not really a library sort, so.
Or is there someone
What's the chances of me leaving the library for a bit and finding a contact within the Golden Sword? I think it is.
Yeah, you can do that, certainly. The other thing you can do, though, is if
I'll tell everyone I'll meet them back here in a bit. I'm going to see if I can find out some information on this Knight Order itself as well from the Golden Sword.
the other thing you can do is that if somebody else's research is interesting to you, you can try and help them. Just giving you an option, but if you want to go find somebody from...
I think it'd be
Golden
more
Sword?
in character for him to seek information by talking to people rather than looking at books. It's just more Rogar.
Yep. Okay. All right. So
So I don't know exactly where in the city this library is, but I would be going to wherever I know the nearest contact is for the Golden Sword.
Gilligan is... Sorry. Warden is still offline, I think.
Yeah, he was restarting, but he never came back.
See...
I've got 2 Roll20s open, one on the laptop and one on my main screen. He's not on either now.
No.
I've got no video feed for Quasi or Zar.
Oh, that's weird. I do.
Yeah, I don't have a video
I
feed
don't.
for you.
Yeah, you're blank.
Yeah. I don't
Me?
have a video feed for
Yeah.
Quasi or James.
Oh, you guys said I was there.
Yeah,
You were, and then
you
you
were.
disappeared.
And then you disappeared.
Oh.
We'll figure it out during the break.
I'm back.
Okay,
Just launching all the stuff now.
excellent.
Jamie's back.
Warden,
Yeah,
what
if I
did,
reconnect
what
on the
did you what did you want to investigate in the library?
Warden is reading his contractual manual thingy.
Oh, that's right. Who did you
Come
want
to the
to?
library self-providing a book.
Yeah. Who did
Did
you?
you know that there was once a famous tiefling bodybuilder called Gaines, and everyone thought he was insane, and they called him Mad Gaines?
Oh, I hate you so much.
I couldn't get to Gaines without that. Like, if it was written, fair enough, but I had to be that direct. I apologize. Yeah, Warden's following everyone around, but I'm in that. And so say we're like 1 and a bit hours into the 24-hour period at this point.
Sure. Did you want to follow somebody around and maybe like try and help them rather than do your own research?
I'll follow the night person around.
So you're
and
going
if
to
they
try and
can-
help Zar. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Cool. All right. Now, so I'm gonna look after maybe Rogar and Quasi first. So I want you guys to think
Cuckoo.
of a specific question, right? Not a generalized, I want to look into X. Like a specific question about what piece of information you want.
Yeah,
and then-
sure.
Yeah, okay.
That's not all I'm going to talk to the Gold Sword about. I'm just
Yeah.
going to...
Sorry,
But
Jamie.
the rest of it doesn't need to be role-played as such. I just let you know that I report in with them and let them know what happened with
Yep.
me recently.
Cool. You don't need to think of a specific question because you're going to have a bit of back and forth conversation. But the guys doing
Oh,
the
it's the
book,
people researching the books, yeah.
yeah,
okay.
yeah. You need to think of a specific question about an item
Okay.
or a thing or a bit of information you want an answer to. Quasi, you see Rogar. Tolbin, you see Rogar walk out and be all like, not giving up my weapons. This is silly. And he walks out and he starts heading off. Do you want to follow him?
Yeah.
I tell them that I'll see them back here later.
Yeah.
I don't just walk out.
No, you do. I'm the dungeon master. I decide. No, I'm kidding.
Told me that night anyway.
I'm kidding. All right. So,
About
I would be all like, you guys have fun with your books. I'm going to go try and find out some stuff
Yeah.
about this. Back later.
good luck, nerds. So Rogar sort of, after belittling you for your search of knowledge, decides to go off and be a good little military drone and report in. I'm kidding. So it takes you, a little bit, about half an hour or so. You're not trying to do. Are you trying to find someone specific to report to, like, or do you just want to go and see, like, the local commander of the Golden Sword?
Well, it depends on whoever's going to be within range. Like,
Well, you'll have to go back. You'll have to go back to the temple section.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Then I will. What was the name of the dude I've been dealing with before? I'll ask after him.
You're going to make me look that up in my notes, aren't you, Jamie?
Sorry.
You didn't write that down yourself?
I memorized it at the time, but that was
You
probably
just
about 6
rely
months ago
on
we last
so
talked to
much.
that guy out of game.
Thank you for that.
No, what's his face? Who's yours?
Was it Steve? Are you researching Steve?
It's Steve. Let's just go with Steve. I can remember Steve. Commander Steve, the Golden Sword. Yep, sure.
So, the guy you're looking for is Lord Turinth Holding, Commander of the Golden Sword and Paladin of the Father.
AKA Steve.
AKA Steve. So you show up to the Order Militant of the Father in Templeton, and asked to speak to Lord Turinth Holding. The Temple of the Father, as opposed temples dedicated to the Father, are very contrast to those dedicated to the Mother. The Mother temples tend to be, they're all stone temples, right? So naturally they follow a certain form, but the Temple of the Father is very austere. Seats don't have cushions on them. They're all plain seats with... does anyone pilot them? Oh, stone temples. Okay. So they're very austere. They're very, they're quite militant, even for a militant order, because the Father's domain is judgment and things of that nature. So it's very, military, even for a military order. You wait a little bit, and he comes out, and he nods to you, and he's like, Brother Rogar, how can I help you?
Well, first of all, just wanted to report in on recent activity. Haven't really made much more progress in investigating the other thing that I was investigating.
Yeah, I tag along with you.
Rogar speaks probably more about that, but probably not on an open channel in Discord. But Rogar then he tells them all about how we were investigating those people who were trying to kill us, and we ended up inside the walls of the city. Tell them about how we found out that, Lord, what's his face?
Agandua. I'm going to buy you a notebook.
That Lord, we kind of killed him when he confronted us. He was the one that was squirreling money away and hiding it inside that facility. And I let him know that we think we maybe even encountered him before. He was infected in the same way that the long knife was. His body was all crystallized on the inside, and he was all corrupt.
Okay. You've done the city a great service. I presume then the Lords of the 12 are not happy with you.
Yeah, we're looking at possibly leaving the city for a little while. We have another thing that we want to investigate, and I had some questions about that as well. Could you tell me, have you ever heard of an order of knights that wear golden armor with this silver logo, two interlinking circles? Does that sound like an order that's familiar to you?
The only thing that comes to mind is an old children's tale. I mean, you heard them growing up in the city. The Knights of the Silver Sun rode forth merrily unto the good works did they do.
Is that was it Sun Elf in origin? Was it Sun Elf out of game? Sorry.
high elf, or yeah, they call
High
themselves. They call themselves high elves. Everyone else calls them sun elves, and they claim they claim to not have been corrupted by the Fae. This guy himself is a human, and he says,
So I can talk like that with him. That's cool.
yeah. So he says, well, I mean, the original story is that they are elves as they originally were before the Fae Wars. He sort of looks around to make sure there are no elves, and he's like, I mean, before the Fae changed the elves. But I mean, it's just a children's story. They're supposed to be protectors of the world.
Are you saying that it's based on these children's stories? The elves that are not sun elves have been corrupted by the Fae somehow?
You can roll a history check for me just before. I'll give you a chance to not ask that question, because this is something that your character just might know.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, if I'd know it, then.
Oh, it's a success. It's a success. So you don't know a lot, but you do know that there's no writings of it, right? But in the same way that the Sorrow was an elf that was transformed into a monstrous creature. Hello, young one. The elves themselves were apparently changed by their allegiances during the Fae War. Those that swore allegiance to the She, or the elves of the Summer Court, became the Sun Elves, and those that swore allegiance to the Banshee, or the elves of the Winter Court, became the Moon Elves.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about all you remember. The bone of contention between them is largely that the Sun Elves believe that they were not changed, but that the Moon Elves were changed. So that's the bone of contention between them.
Right. And the Moon Elves believe what?
The Moon Elves believe that they were both changed.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But it's like talking about Nazi Germany with Germans.
Yeah.
Don't.
So when he talked about the Night Order, what do you call it again? The Knights of the
Silver Sun.
Knights of the Silver Sun.
Yep.
What more do I know anything more about the Knights of the Silver Sun?
Oh yeah, you grew up in the city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like like I said before with Tsar, it's 1001 Arabian Nights. There's tons of these tales about elves that, these this knightly order. In the tales, they're not limited to elves, but the earliest tales are always about these elves that haven't been changed, that are sworn to eternal service in this order to protect the world, right? And it's not people, it's the world. So they head out and they fight great evils, and it's always about sacrifice and duty and honor, etc.
But it's just like kid story stuff.
It's kid story stuff, yeah. But now that he mentions,
based on the visions we've just had, it's possibly more.
But now that he mentions it, you think that you might have seen that symbol on one of the storybooks that you were read in Temple,
Yeah. Okay. So I asked him, has he ever heard of it being anything more than just a story?
He says, well, I mean, you hear stories when you're out doing your service in the wildlands. And Knights of the Father often travel through the world as traveling judges, and they often do it in places far from civilization. So that's what he means by doing your service. he says, you often hear stories from, the, I don't want to say peasants, but the people that live out in the world, farmers and, etc., are far from the cities. And they tell these stories,
Okay.
But I mean, they're just stories. I mean, he starts laughing. Otherwise, there's a saintly order of knights that's been protecting the world for at least 5,000 years. I mean,
what if that were possible, sir?
I mean, we'd know about it. The Temple of the Sun would have literature on them.
How much did we know about what that tower and that wall does until very recently?
Yes, but that's an artifact of the Elder. It could be, hundreds of thousands of years old. We don't know.
Okay. Oh, thank you for your time, sir. Did you have any specific requirements of me over the next time period?
We have nothing currently on the radar that needs investigation, but I think that this mage might have been right. Unless you want to get fully involved with the politics of the situation.
Oh no, sir. I'll leave that up to you. But if the Golden Sword needs anything of me, of course, let me know. But I will be out of town for a while until the Lords calm down a bit.
Yes, well, that might be a good idea. Matt, did you have anything you wanted to add or mention while you were here? Yeah. Did you? No, I can't hear you again.
Who's talking there?
Yeah. No, Matt, you might.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody's mics are dying today. What's going on?
Hang on. I have a wacky idea. Two
Okay.
seconds.
No, yeah, I can hear you.
You got me?
Just.
Yeah,
Just.
yeah. It's a bit crackly.
Okay. Okay. Just going to change my input to the actual computer.
Hey, guys in the stream, thank you for sticking around during this highly professional production.
Is that any better?
Yes.
So good.
Great.
Excellent. Cool. Just means that you'll be able to hear the kids when they come screaming in.
That's all right.
Alrighty. So, yes, if I was with... what's your character again? Alvin? Oh,
Yes.
buddy, what's up?
No. Aww.
I've got no video feeds of anyone right now other than Brian.
Just hit reconnect.
I keep hitting that, but it's random. I've got Alwyn and that's it.
Hello.
We're all 20, mate. It's brilliant. Okay, so hello, young sir.
He doesn't want to say hello.
Okay.
Didn't you?
All right, we'll go back. We'll go back to you, Quaz. Alvin,
Hello.
have you thought of your question?
I've got the 3.
That's okay.
So
I said 1.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm in a library. Surely.
Okay.
Looking for commonality of between the Fae stories of a common location between like some of the older stories of the Fae to see.
So what is? So it's got to be a question like you would say to a person. I need a question like. It would need to be like, where do I find the Fae, or how do I climb this wall? etc.
I thought I was reading some books about Fae.
No, you are, but I need a specific question that you want answered, like a question that you would ask a person. That's okay. I'll go back to Tolbin, and I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Tolbin, you are with Rogar at the Militant Temple of the Father, which is the god of judgment. So,
So if I was listening in on the conversation,
yep.
I want to know what I know of these stories coming from in the Boondocks.
Yeah, so you have very similar stories, but your stories differ in that these knights always show up and stop corruption of the forest, or needless chopping down of forests and things like that. They're always sort of considerate of balance and natural order and things like that. It's okay to take from the forest, but don't do so in excess. You chop a tree down, that's great, but you need to plant one when you take the wood away, etc.
Oh wow! So these guys, like, they're my jam.
Yeah, very much so. Like, they are used as a teaching instrument to teach, to do, young people of whatever, right, or young Furbolg to do what is considered culturally the right thing, right? Yeah. Within your culture, it's always considered. It's always considered the balance of the natural world, right?
Yeah.
It's
cool. I feel that I would have taken on their teachings in an extremely literal, kind of almost fundamentalist point of view. Because Tolbin's very focused on the balance in an extreme way. I don't think he put anything in there. Cool. So I regale Jamie's character with my version of the stories, and I'm quite pleased to see that in a temple, a construction made by people, that they don't have cushions on stone, because stone is meant to be hard. You're not meant to be comfortable when you're sitting on stone. So I'm quite pleased with his temple in that regard, even though they have taken natural resources and moved them around and built them up and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't want to ask any questions about or of the Lord Commander here?
Only about the red scorched earth, which I remembered from my dream, having rolled a natural 1 and probably being way off guard, or off the mark rather. He
says to you, I don't remember any castles with red scorched earth outside of it. It sounds like a thing that might have happened during a war, maybe or
the calamity or something.
Yeah, I mean, sure. We don't really know what happened during the last calamity, or any of them before that. But we know that large spells were cast, and that very bad things happened. But I don't have an exact answer for you. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Alwyn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of the. Historic locations of sightings of Fae. The other one that I had, which was related, was is there any history of gnolls working with the Fae? If there is, what were they? To what end were they working with them, and what kind of Fae? Being that there are 2 different types of Fae in this universe, which of the Fae would be working with the gnolls?
So you want to know about... So your question is...
Most of them both.
historic locations inciting a Fae. Is there a history of gnolls? So the second one I can answer because it's a pointed question. The first one is still a bit vague. Like, think more narrow in your question. But I'll get to the second one. Can you roll me, please, a investigation check? Oof. 13. So it's still a success. So is there a history of gnolls working with the Fae? Yeah, so you come up with some general information about gnolls and the history of gnolls. Gnolls aren't considered to be a sentient species. They are sort of... to give you an analogy in real-world terms, they're like very smart monkeys, yeah? They have social behavior, and that they can be trained by higher order species to do things. That is the gnolls that exist on this plane of existence, right? There are gnolls that are said to be native to both fairy planes, right? And they are an order of magnitude smarter and are considered to be sentient themselves. They will work for if they come from the Summer Court, they obviously work for the Summer Fae, and if they come from the Winter Court, they work for the Winter Fae.
Okay. Wait, what? Summer and Winter Fae?
Yeah, so...
How does that line up with seedy and unseedy?
Seely and unseely, not seedy.
That's what you wrote down. Oh no, I can see your spelling. Okay.
Yeah, that's they the Seelie Fae are the Fae of the Summer Court, and the unseelie Fae are the Fae of the Winter Court. They are also called the She and the Banshee. The She are the Winter Court, and the Banshee are the the Banshee are the Winter Court, and the She are the Summer Court.
Cool. Sorry, typing.
All good.
Making sure I remember this stuff for later. So with the so-called sentient gnolls, is there any history of them being in our plane?
Yeah, you'll need to roll me a investigation check, but you'll need to do this one at disadvantage, I'm afraid, my friend.
Okay. Oh, that's not good.
You don't find any reference to them working on this plane of existence, no.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Zah, do you have some questions or specific questions you'd like asked?
Specifically, I want to find all of the storybooks and stuff that mention the Knights of the Silver Sun, to go through them and, find all of the things that I remember from my dream. And Warden's away from his computer at the moment, but he's sort of tagging along and kind of just all the time just mentioning, look for that symbol, look for the symbol, look for the symbol kind of thing.
Okay. All right, so... again, you need like a specific question, like I'm looking for X or I want Y.
So I'm looking for the fairy tales in particular that my mum used to read to me as a kid.
Okay.
So
you can find those books easily. But what information do you want to derive from the books?
So from those books, I'm looking to derive basically...
Think of this as an essay question, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking for a particular story where those symbols are depicted, and where we're noticing, like 2 Nights in Golden, like the exact picture that I've seen in my dream, I want to find in a storybook.
So I guess the question...
I telepathically send the answer to it.
I guess you specifically want to ask the question, is there a story where two knights of the Silver Sun enter a broken down castle and fight a dark creature?
Amorphous monster with hard, it's like sometimes got hard edges, or it's blobby, or it has knife-like protrusions.
Roll for me a investigation check.
That'll do it.
Okay. That will do it. So you find no story of specific to that. Like, you don't find a story of two knights fighting a creature of that type in a castle that you envisioned. What you do find is stories of the knights where the knights die. When the knights succeed, there's always three of them. They fight in threes. And when they succeed, when there are three of them. If there's ever less than three of them, like two, for instance, 50-50, they succeed but die, or they don't succeed but wound or hurt or achieve enough that the following people or the ordinary people can take down the great evil. You find other stories with a creature of this type that and it's called a hunter, but you don't find anything that specifically matches the question you asked. But you did roll very well, so you found some other information.
Okay, so when I see these stories of the hunter, I specifically look for more information on a creature that may be known as...
Yeah, okay, so you'll need to roll me another investigation check at disadvantage, please.
Sure.
Not bad.
Wow.
Yeah. It pays to be a bard. Stupid bards. So you find lots of stories of these creatures, and they're said to be enemies of the world. Like, not people or the elves or the humans, but the world. And they are always turned back at great cost by the knights, but their attacks are really infrequent. They often wait until, like a city is recovering from a plague, or great fire has come through, or there's a corruption of some other kind. They work through others, and then once conditions are right, they come through themselves.
Okay, so working through others, can I specifically look for information on what that might mean? Do they sort of possess people and sort of use their bodies, and sort of maybe the whole crystalline black goo kind of thing might be a result of their influence?
You need a more specific question. So you can't just sort of say, I want to know stuff. You got to know, I want to know this.
Ask, what's the method of their working through others?
Yeah, so basically I want to know how in the past they have worked through others.
Okay.
What's that like?
Yep, that's specific enough. You need to roll me again at disadvantage, and roll well, friend.
Not too shabby.
Unfortunately, stupid bards. Unfortunately, you don't find anything specific other than the people that they work through often don't do it because they mean or intend to. But
Can I try and
That's about it.
nudge that a little bit with how good my reading of my dream was, or is this not as connected as it could be?
You would have to stop doing what you're doing to confer an advantage on the roll.
I completely stopped. Dang it. Sorry, I'm reading my book.
Yeah. The other
Can't
thing is,
do it with a concentration check.
no. The other thing is, he's compelled to read that book at this point. He's about 4 hours in, and this is like, the middle of the Way of Kings. Like shit's really heating up. Like he wants this.
It's a page turner, this one.
It sure is. Stuff is being revealed to you that you never thought about. Okay. Castellan.
Yeah.
What questions do you have for me?
All right. So first question relating to the knights. I was thinking real world locations that I can attempt. Hold on, I'm trying to pose this as a question. Locations that these knights have been known to operate at, like real world locations. I'm trying to correlate somewhere in our world where we might actually be able to find more information on them.
Of the knights themselves, so the question is, where have the knights been? Is that it?
Where in the real world, ideally, have the knights operated?
And is this? And I ask this relating to conversations that we've had ex parte, so to speak. Is this what you want to? And mechanically, is this what you want to use your easy question on?
Yeah, I was thinking so, because the other question is it's more that the other question is related to the other stuff we've talked about before.
Yeah.
But I thought this one is kind of a little bit more relevant to what we're doing right now and what the party is trying to achieve.
All good. Okay, so roll me an investigation check, please. Castellan. You'll need to roll me in. Yep, there he is. Okay.
What is it with this today? Like?
I don't know. All right. So, unfortunately, you do find a lot of places that they've been, but they all name cities and towns and things that you're pretty sure are fictional. You aren't able to correlate any real places.
Okay. That was. I'm just going to take another sip of gin. And so now I'll do my disadvantage one. So my question is, how does one communicate with Leviathan?
Okay. Okay, go ahead and roll me that check. Yeah.
Really loudly.
Really loud. Way!
It's a dirty 20,
It's
though.
backwards world today for me.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard Warden.
Yeah, I heard Warden too.
If
There we
you're
go.
going to roll at disadvantage, that's pretty good rolling.
It's a pretty
Should
good
roll
roll
at disadvantage more often.
So, how to communicate with Leviathan? So, Leviathan is a world dragon. That means that they are linked to certain essences and places that mirror their element. So, Leviathan is the dragon of water and darkness. So, it says that holy places to Leviathan, or places that are more able to speak to Leviathan, are places that are wet and dark. And specifically, it gives you a location in the north. Oh, what am I doing? Don't do that. That's silly, Brian. Gives you a location in the north. up here in the Godswood, along this western coast.
Oh.
Well,
maybe we should go up there and kill Leviathan and nip this in the bud.
That's not my plan.
So, yeah, up here.
You might need about 350 though.
Is there another question you'd like to ask?
Goddamn Rockman's monster.
Yeah, I need about 250.
I think that's it for now, Brian. I was really hoping we might be able to narrow down where we wanted to go with all these questions. But,
Okay.
I guess we should just flip a coin at this.
Yeah.
We've now got 2 reasons to go up here to the Godswood.
We've got 2 reasons to go south too. We've got information about Willow Tanhold and some other place.
Okay, so Rogar and Tolban, on your way back to the library, I would like you to make some perception checks for me.
I think I found the
We
Leviathan.
didn't
He's right
leave
there.
town quick enough, did we? Perception. Righto.
Now,
Oh,
Brian,
wow. I'm just
I do have a
going
passive
right down the
perception.
line at the moment.
Yep, what's your passive perception?
19.
Okay, so something is tickling your, like, spidey sense, for want of a better phrase. So
Yeah.
you can make me an active perception check at advantage, please.
Okay. If I can remember how.
You just roll
okay.
twice is fine. You don't have to do it the fancy way.
No, I got the fancy way.
You can set the settings so it just always asks you whether you're rolling advantage or
Yeah.
disadvantage.
Sort of default to normal roll.
Whoa!
Oh,
Ba,
my
ba,
God.
ba, 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 ba. Somebody gets a
What the-
Wormwood giveaway. I'm kidding. I'm not that rich. I can't do that.
I've got a whole bunch of Steam codes I haven't used on my Humble Bundles if we want to give them a random game.
Yeah, I mean, why don't we do that next turn? We'll do that. If you're happy to do that, we'll do that after the break.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so Tolban, you're starting to feel pretty at home in the city. Like it's starting to like the more that you look at the city, the more it starts to resemble like the deep wood, right? Where where things are really wild, you know? There are trees, which are buildings. Weird buildings, don't like them, but they're still tall and things live in them. And then there are the roads, which are like trails that things go across. And like when you're walking through this city, you get the same tickling sensation when you're being followed by a predator, right?
Yep.
And you look around and you see 3 men dressed in casual clothing doing their very, very best not to be noticed by you. And then later on, as you guys have decided to walk back, and it's almost like 2 or 3 miles to get to where you're going. But, you know, you're both young, fit, good-looking chaps. You've decided to get the exercise in.
Yep.
And, you know, about a mile later, you realise that the same guys are following you and that you haven't seen anybody else that you saw a mile ago this far into the city, right?
Do I get the feeling that they are predatory or just that we are being watched and followed? Do I feel threatened?
Insight
by
check,
them?
please.
While he's doing that, I just love the fact that he's now feeling at home in the city and stuff like that. More than Rogar does, even though he lives his damn life.
You were only supposed to roll once, so do you want to roll again?
Yep.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll make you take the 7. Okay, so You are getting a very definite I want to eat you vibe.
Right, okay, because otherwise I was planning on turning around and introducing myself and saying hi and wanting to become their friends. But getting the feeling that I'm kind of prey to them. And the
so,
fact that...
One sec there, Tobin. Rogar, you notice him noticing something.
Yeah, so given the current situation, I would turn to Rogar and be, "Oi, there's two guys that's following us. I reckon we should hightail it to the library and get with the other guys, just in case we need some fisticuffs. We can use that weird little monkey guy and the singer lady and the spellcaster lady."
Two guys, you say?
Sorry about that.
We're two big guys, but what if there's some that I haven't seen?
Oh.
Very wise, Tobin.
Which guys?
I'll point them out to you when we get back to the library.
Okay, so I guess Rogar's picking up on the fact that Tolbin's worried.
Okay, and
let's go for a talk.
That's where we will stop for the moment. We'll take a quick 15-minute break, and courtesy of Warden, we will, who is also another DM, you should check out his stream, Roll for Intelligence. We will return in about 15 minutes. Give everyone a chance to toilet and water up. I think we're live. We live? I don't know if we're live. If you're in the chat, tell me if we're live.
We are live.
We are live.
You have a notepad up on your screen at the moment.
I
Brian,
sure do.
What are those names?
Oh, we're
What
live
do you
again.
mean?
All right. All right, so I'm just going to roll.
And also a dice.
He's watching you.
Ugh. Yeah. All right, here we go. We don't have anybody in the viewing again. Oh, well. We'll be right. Dice. D8. Number 1. Whoever A10 is. A10, are you still here? You just won something. Yeah.
I've seen no one online watching us, which is weird because both Zara and I are watching us.
Yeah.
I'm watching too.
I can see, like...
Cool.
It's okay, we can still play without people watching us, right?
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. There you
It's
go.
more entertaining.
We don't know what, but something will...
Someone else didn't realize they were watching an old video while they were looking at the thing. They're like, "Oh, this stream seems familiar."
Okay. All right. I'll grab that code off you at the end, Warden. Or you can just mail me whatever code you want to give away, and I will give that code to A10.
Shiny. I will do that right now.
Cool.
Answer's back online.
Alrighty. So, when last we left our intrepid adventurers, they were Rogar and Tolbin were hurrying back to meet up with the others after realizing that they had been followed since leaving the temple by 3 people.
By predatory predators.
The predatory predators of the predation kind.
Are they in a white van?
Yeah.
Oh, that sort of predator.
And it says free candy on the side.
Don't.
Okay, so back to the library. You guys have all had your questions asked. Unless Gaz wanted to ask another one.
I did have my follow-up question in the chat.
Okay, Alwyn, what question?
I was just saying that I would have thought that there were recorded sightings of Fae in our world, which I could correlate to determine a location to investigate.
You can, but you need to give me a specific question. Like you would ask a person. You can't just say, "I want to know about Fae and locations."
Well, it's more of a general.
What is the last known location of the Fae in our...
Okay, that's all right. I'll get you to roll At disadvantage, please. A10, if you're in the chat still, I think you might be. I've just messaged you through... yeah, you are. I've just messaged you through Twitch. You are our winner. We will... if you message me back with your email address, we'll make sure that you get a code from Steam for a free game. Oof. 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 A 3.
It's not great.
It's better than a 1.
Wasn't in that one.
He's better than him.
A 1 would have been real bad for you right now. So you search and you search and you search, and it seems like maybe there's a section of the library that has general knowledge about the Fae, and maybe even a section of the library that is blocked off that you can't get into. Then every time you sort of walk in over towards those stacks, another one of the mages in red robes appears and sort of says, I think what you're looking for is over there, and points you in another direction. And you can't get the information that you're looking for. Yeah, I think you're holding down push to talk again. Okay. All right.
Yep.
There we go. You're back.
Okay.
Production value plus.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right. I mean, like, I've jury rigged this through 3 different programs to get what we've got. So this is at least 80% my fault. All right. So you guys get back. Rogar and Tolbin get back to the library. What do you want to do?
Go inside and wait for the rest of the crew to come back into the entrance foyer with obnoxious, rude desk guy.
So obnoxious, rude desk guy isn't there anymore.
Excellent. In that case, I go in and just chill out.
There is another person. It's not left unattended.
Yep.
Did I have?
So I just want to wait in the foyer, but inside, so that I'll know when these guys tailing us come in.
Okay, fair enough.
When I come out, I sort of indicate, I see those guys there and indicate that I want to go and chat to my father, but that I don't necessarily need anybody to come with.
Okay.
That's your subtle way of telling Tolbin not to come with you.
Well, no, I want to go talk to my family about potential dealings and stuff that, I don't really want anyone to sing, and I'm telling you where I'm going, kind of thing, just so people know where.
Okay. So I'm going to say that you guys all sort of wander out and you meet Rogar, because I'm sure Rogar isn't going to give up his weapons to go into the library proper.
I think he may have done before, but if there's a way of getting a message into the library to the others that we've got a problem without me going in there and just watching the door, we'll probably do that.
Okay. Yeah, so they'll arrange for a message to be run to the guys inside. So you all get a message. Hey, what does the message say?
Two guys,
we have a problem. We're being followed currently at the front desk. Come now.
Okay. What's on this map? Just want to check real fast. Yeah, that might do. Let's go back here. All right. So you're outside. You're all outside now, and Rogar says we've got a problem.
Who just came outside?
Everybody's outside.
Oh, right.
Problem.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
Are we
Tolbin's
or are
pretty
we in
convinced that we were being followed on the way back from my temple.
Have I still got them there?
What do they look like, Tom?
Are they still around?
They are. It's 3 humans dressed in casual, everyday clothing.
Cool. I start walking towards them, and with the subtlety of someone with a -1 bonus on charisma, I say, "Hey, that's them guys that was following us there."
And I'm flanking him, assuming we've all hooked up again. Like I'm sort of walking behind him.
Yeah, so he's sort of like, I don't know what you're talking about. Follow you? That's crazy.
Yeah, man. You was at the Temple of the Father following us, and then along the streets following us, and then you followed us here, and yeah, I was watching you following us.
It's a free city. Like, we were just, hanging out. Like, what are you guys talking about? This is crazy.
That's cool. My name's Tolbin. What's your name? And I go to shake his hand.
He looks
you were
at...
following us because you wanted to be friends, yeah? Yeah.
He looks at you, and he is... I didn't want to bring that map up. I didn't want to bring that map up. Don't look at the stream, players.
Yeah, I'm looking at the screen.
Alright. Okay, so so the he sort of looks at you, and then he sighs, and then he says, damn it. And he just looks right at Tolbin, and he says, you shouldn't have kept the gold. Everybody roll initiative.
We didn't keep all of it. They wouldn't let us keep all of it.
We didn't keep any of it. The mages took it.
Yeah, but they paid us.
We got a reward.
We got a hefty reward.
We haven't collected that yet, have we?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
we did.
That's a 23 from me.
On brand.
So for everybody in the stream, usually I have maps, but I didn't want to prepare 4 different maps depending on what they did. And I work for a living, so I wasn't able to do that. Oh, crazy. No, brother.
Brand.
Yeah.
It's unusually high for me. Go figure.
Yeah. About time.
Still go before
Really
you.
low for me.
There'll be no opening fireballs today.
No opening fireballs, no.
No.
No, he'll wait for
Someone picked it up.
Have we agreed to get Galen that T-shirt yet? I didn't ask how big the room was. I said I cast fire.
I think we totally need to get that for him.
Yeah. All right.
And now I'm totally glad that I burnt a 3rd level spell slot doing plant growth in the guy's office.
It was totally worth it anyway, man.
I reckon.
You won't need it, right?
Okay. All right.
Moonbeam works during the day, yeah, Brian.
Well, there's a moon
I
up there.
actually-
If it works, that goddamn tunnel.
I don't think it does. Oh no, it does. It does. Yeah, it does. Of course, it does.
Also, I take it it's a nice cloudy, overcast day.
You know what? Sure, it's a cloudy, overcast day.
Call lightning.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? No, it's not.
Too late, Brian.
No takes backsies.
They take backsies. Okay.
So there's three targets in the middle of the street that we can see. Yes, no?
Yeah, pretty much. Let me get your characters on here.
Excrement.
Didn't it kept the gold? What the hell are they talking about? Does anyone have a clue?
Gold bars, maybe.
We kept
Maybe.
Yeah, we do have some cool gold bars.
Who even knows we've got those bars?
Don't know.
Hit now. Questions later.
Do we want to knock these guys out and drag them back to our house?
All right.
I'm certainly
I'm
not going to be
gonna
going
go.
lethal just yet.
A crowded street? Or something? I thought.
Brian, just
Yeah,
found-
it's kind of,
All right. Can you guys?
lovely map.
Can you guys? This
Love
is
it.
this is great. Can you guys move those characters?
Yep.
Yeah, great. So
Yep.
just move back to where I placed you.
Yep.
Groovy.
Hit me.
Groovy like a drive-in movie.
Stand.
Oh,
I was
can't
behind
do myself
Mr.
without
Fearbolg.
moving the map as well. That's so annoying.
No, you were flanking Mr. Furbolg, so you would have been. Do you want to be flanking in front of this guy, or were you going to flank to the left?
Flanking Tolvin as well.
I was just behind him. I was like,
Okay, all right,
I got your back, buddy. Kind of there-ish. Or there-ish. That'll work too.
all right. Can
Brian, how do these guys get them look more like in charge than any of the others?
insight check for me. Also, can you guys alter your hit points to reflect after your level, please?
Oh yeah.
I have. Hang on, no, I haven't, because I haven't rolled for my level yet. Because you like us to do that when we're around you. Can I do that now?
You can, absolutely.
Can I roll mine again?
No.
Oh.
Look at that. That, for those at home, is a 4 because I have -2 on my constitution.
Oh, can you roll for me a concentration check, please, Warden? Because,
Indeed, I can.
Because in true martial arts movie style, you are going to be fighting while reading a book.
It's the scene in Ip Man, and I love.
Yeah. I can't. Where do I get my initiative tool again?
What does the red circle represent and the blue circle?
I open one of those blue boxes. See what's in them.
What red circle?
You're talking
The
about
hit
buildings.
points on roll 20, so you got the red, the green, and the blue.
Oh, green is your total hit points. Blue is your HP, and red is the damage you have taken. But you can just
Gotcha.
It doesn't sync with your character sheet by the looks of it.
You can, but you need to create a character sheet with the same name as your Roll20 character sheet on... Sorry, your D&D Beyond character on Roll20.
Alright.
But, like,
So-
we can do
Sure,
that
I'm
at
just
another
gonna-
time.
I'm going to ignore those bars. They're just wrong.
Yeah, that's why I need you to change it. I need you to click on your character and change the
Double
green.
click your character.
Double click your character and change that to be your current hit points, please.
What was the second? What was the blue one again? Yeah, AC.
Yeah, I believe so.
And then the third one we don't use.
The third one is the current damage you've taken.
Oh, okay.
The third one. Oh, that's not the red one.
Your red one's the current damage. Green
Current
one's
damage,
current
so
hit
it's 0.
points. Yeah. And blue one is your AC.
Yeah, okay.
Where is the turn box?
I am so happy with that wisdom saving roll of 18.
Yeah.
Keep moving to the next,
that's 8 over what you need. So let's see. Above 20, that's
Concentrate on reading a book while fighting? What
Yep.
you need a 10?
Total monk shit.
Oh, huh?
it's monk shit. What can I tell you?
I got an 18 on the insight check, by the way, Brian.
So the guy closest to Tolbin, Castellan, you would have been over here, my friends.
He's wanting to flank Tolvin as well.
Oh,
Because
are
he's
you?
like the only one of these people that I
Okay.
Oh,
Zar,
You render someone unconscious accidentally one time.
what's your Zar, what's your plus to dexterity?
7? No, hang on. That's my bonus. Hang on.
Yeah, by the way,
Plus 30, plus 4.
plus 4. And what's your plus to dexterity, Jamie?
Dex plus 2.
Plus 2. So
Oh, sorry, plus 1. Sorry, wrong one. I was gone.
Zar will still go first.
What about Warden's 23?
and my 23.
We'll go before.
Oh, sorry. I get you. I caught up.
Then
You can see that in the little thingy.
Yeah, we got two 23s as well.
Rogar.
You got the higher naked roll though, Alwyn.
Yeah, it's only.
It shows the plus.
Yeah, it shows the plus.
It does show the plus on the.
No, that's your plus to initiative, not your plus to dex.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
this is true.
yeah, true. Okay. But you could use that if you want to split tiebreakers anyway.
Yeah.
Same.
You can see I've got a 17 and Zara's got a 17. I've got +1, she's got +5. She wins.
Okay. Thank you, Rugger.
That's Brian saying, "Shut up, Danny."
I would never speak. I would never speak to a friend that way, Jamie. Shut up. Tolbin. Okay. Let's roll some initiative for these guys. Jesus fucking wept.
Did they go after me?
No.
Didn't weep that much.
Yeah. Okay, I've got initiative. Right, let's get this. Let's skin this snake, as they say. Okay, Alwyn, you're first. As this guy that's standing next to standing here, as he just says, "You shouldn't have kept the money." Grabs Tolbin by the hand and goes to stab him in the arm with a dagger that sort of falls out of his sleeves.
The money or the gold?
He says you shouldn't have kept the gold.
Right. Okay. I will. Yeah. Move over there. And then I will shoot him point blank with my crossbow.
Okay.
Using my Planner Warrior as well.
Yeah, so you'll need to just roll for attack first. So click on the crossbow and then hit send roll. There we go. So 4 points of damage, but you do definitely hit him. 6 points of damage. Your crossbow doesn't do 2d8.
It's a twin attack.
Oh, it's a heavy
action. I've got 2 attack actions.
Well, you got to roll the second attack then, don't you?
Yeah, so also that's a
know what
crossbow,
it is.
man. It takes an action to reload it. It's a heavy crossbow, not a light crossbow. So you even with 2 attack actions, you can only fire it once a turn. But the good thing is that you can fire it every turn, as opposed to when you don't have 2 attack actions, you can only fire it once every 2 turns. So the total amount of damage
I've
you do.
I've also got proficiency, which apparently adds my proficiency bonus to the attack roll for any attack you make.
Yeah, I mean, it should have calculated that in the damage that you just rolled.
So I do
1d10. Yeah,
1d10.
it did.
I do 1d10 plus 5.
Yeah, it did. If you
So you
hover
rolled
over
a 3.
Shit. Yeah, I rolled a 3.
Yeah.
if you hover over it, so you did 10 damage in total. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And so my second action is to reload the crossbow.
To reload the crossbow, that's correct.
I feel my
Why-
bow was better than this.
Your bow's way better than that.
Your bow is better than that.
Why? I was wondering why you're using a crossbow now.
Well,
Longbow's
I'm
way better.
proficient. I'm proficient in a crossbow. I'm not proficient in longbows.
You're
doesn't-
a ranger that's not proficient in longbows?
That doesn't
Really?
seem right.
Yeah.
That
We'll-
doesn't
we'll-
sound right.
Yeah, we'll look into that later. But for now, you're firing a crossbow. Sorry about that.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so next person is Warden.
Oh, goody. Okay, so Warden has just familiarized himself with this character sheet, and not only did I get a whole bunch of awesome stuff in my last ding, including the fact that for the purposes of combat, people at home, my fist and kick attacks count as magical weapons. So all those, unharmed by normal weapons monsters can suck it because I can beat the crap out of them.
Like humans in regular clothes, I don't think a concern in this.
It's still the same damage, but it's also 1d6, which means I now do with my fists the same damage as pretty much every single one of my weapons. So what I'm going to do,
don't forget that you got a magical item.
I did get a magical item. I'm not feeling compelled to do that at this point in time, but we'll see what happens.
Okay.
So I've got my book up in front of my face.
Yep.
I step around Tolbin.
Okay.
So that I'm beside that guy. So that's 1 square of movement.
That's 5. Yep, you're good.
I'm not showing off for the stream. And I'm going to lay 2 kicks on 2 hand attacks with one hand on this guy as I walk past. I'm then going to disengage and do some more movement and put 2 hand attacks on this guy as well.
So you're going to attack this guy once, right?
I'm going to attack old mate here with 2 hits.
Okay.
And old mate here with 2 hits, and I've spent the 2 key points I need to use my flurry of blows and my disengage.
Okay, cool. All right, go ahead. Roll me some damage. Roll me to hit, sorry.
I really want to do that. Here we go.
Oh, dude. Oh, wait. That's fucking what?
So that's my 4 strikes. So the first 2 are the first guy, and the second 2 are the second.
So, is that a natural? It's not a natural 20. So, 3 of those will hit. As you sink your fists into the first guy, you feel like a resistance to the punching, and you think that he might be wearing some sort of padding or armor underneath his shirt, and you don't think that these blades are going to land as solidly as you think that they should, and so he's just like boom, boom. But you do hit absolutely on the first guy with one hit, and then sort of lean back, holding the book flat. Like, have you ever seen those machines that hold a glass of beer? And then they do crazy shit to it, like kick it.
Yeah. It's like it's gyroscopically centered.
Yeah, so the book is gyroscopically centered as you lean back and kick off the ground, flip over, come and land in front of this guy, and then go bang, bang again, hit him twice. And you will, in fact, strike him twice solidly. And again, you feel that resistance underneath the skin. And these hits aren't landing as much, but they are definitely hitting him. So you do...
Can old mate give me a DC 14 dex save or fall over? Because I just hit him with my flurry of blows.
Okay. Old mate can do that. Dex, right?
Yarp.
He just sort of goes like this, and it pulls the flurry of blows onto his sides and manages to stay standing. But you definitely connected and hurt him.
Awesome. And on that note, I'm afraid I have to depart. So I'm happy for you guys to NPC me. You've got my character sheet available to you. My crazy monk shit. I don't spare the key points. I don't spare putting myself in harm's way. Thank you everybody for watching. I've sent the code to Brian, and the rest of you all have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Good hit.
See you next time.
Bye.
Okay. Next up is the guy standing next to, holding Tolban's hand. He is going to continue to try and stab you in the arm.
My AC is yes, you hit.
Really? Because I don't think a 9 is going to hit you.
Ooh. Shockingly, no.
That's his first attack, though.
Okay.
He will hit on the next attack and does 6 points of damage. He goes like this, sort of stab like that. Okay. Zar, you're up. Rogar, you're next.
I'm looking at moving 10, 15, 20, 25 to there.
Yep.
And then attacking him with my new fancy
sword?
Sorry?
Your new fancy sword?
My new fancy sword, that's the one.
Sure.
Now,
Holy moly.
Why did you roll like 2 die 10, 2 die 8, and a die 20?
I have no idea why it rolled the rest of those. I think some
Slashing.
of them from somebody else. The die 10 is from the two-handed, so ignore those.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's doing one-handed. And on top of that, it doesn't actually take into account the psychic D8.
Okay, yeah. So you've done 2 points of slashing damage. You have hit. Now just roll me a die 8 for the psychic damage. You can do that through roll 20.
Yeah, I'm also going to burn a bardic inspiration to add some more. It will do an extra 3d6 as well. Psychic damage.
Jesus Christ. Righto. I see you, Castellan, measuring things.
Really?
So 5.
8 psychic.
No,
So
the psychic is just a straight D8. So you did 3 there.
Yeah. So no, the 1d8 is from the psychic from the actual blade.
Yep.
And the 3d6 is the psychic from my bardic inspiration.
Okay, gotcha. Roger. So 8, 10 damage in total.
2 of them psychic. 8 of them psychic.
Yeah, absolutely. You see him sort of like as the blade cuts through, you feel it slice straight through, and he's definitely wearing some sort of padded armor underneath. And the blade itself doesn't really cut very deeply, but you see him sort of like this as he gets shocked with a the feeling that of the psychic damage coming through.
Yep.
Rogar, you're up. Castellan, you're next.
Sure. Well, I'd be silly not to just charge straight into there and hit that guy with a Divine Smite.
Okay, so you can't do the charge action as we have a home rule through somebody, but you can definitely just get in there and smack the shit out of him, yeah.
Oh, but the home rule is 10 feet.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah.
So
it's
one,
minimum
5,
of 10 feet.
20, 25, 30. I would be going around.
Oh no, you have to do it in a straight line. That's in the home rule.
Oh, I thought only the charge itself has to be in a straight line. Sorry.
Yeah, the charge has to be in a straight line, but you can't charge.
Okay, I moved to here. That's 20 foot. Sorry, to there, 20 foot, 25. Oh, hang on, I've got my squares mixed up. To there, 20 foot, 25, 30. The last 10 foot, we're in a straight line, straight at him. Going around. Who is that? I can't even read that. It's Castellan.
Okay, I obviously haven't worded the rules for our home action well, but
That's not how you want it to run. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
It's cool.
basically, the charge has to be your only move for the turn. You charge into combat, and that's it. Like, that's your move. If you prep. Anyway, I haven't worded it properly, but so I'll let you do it this turn. But we'll just change the wording so that we have it narrowed down for future. So you've charged in. That means you're using your action, your reaction, and your bonus action, and you gain advantage on your first attack.
Okay. Yep. Sure. Oh yeah, I get to attack. I forgot. Attacks. Scroll up. Shouldn't I just be able to click on that? Yeah. So first one's advantage. That was a waste.
Whoa.
Oh, did you roll? Was that a nat 20? No.
No.
19 plus 9.
Second attack, just a 14, which is probably a miss.
14 will miss. The first attack will. And you're using it single-handed, right?
Single-handed, so 12.
12 points of damage. Plus your divine smite damage.
Yep, okay. So that burns a spell slot, and it does an extra 2d8. So how do I do that? I just got to do it from...
Yeah, click on the dice in the top left.
There's another 5 and another 4, so another 9.
9, so
12, so
21 points of damage.
Yep.
21 from 182 is...
Brian, he should have taken 1 extra point as well from me because it's not adding the +1 damage from the weapon.
That pops into 179. Yeah!
All right, so this guy now, it's his turn. He's going to throw 2 daggers at... it's got to be Rogar. Half dragon just...
It doesn't have to be.
half dragon just came out of nowhere and the crack of thunder as his hammer smashed down on someone. Yeah.
Just for everyone's reference as well, the yellow circle around Rogar is his aura that gives everyone +5 to saves.
What's your...
Do you know yellow circle?
Yeah, I'm not...
You're not seeing it?
Yeah, I mean, I see it. That's all that counts.
Okay. It's in the Twitch feed.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, so it is.
Okay, so he's going to hit you twice unless your AC's changed. It hasn't. And
I did increase that just before this place started. Did I mention that? No.
No, you didn't. Oh well, too bad. Just like I let you get away with the thing.
The yellow circle do for us? What does your aura do?
+5 to any...
+5 to all saves.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
So stay close to Rogar.
Aura of...
Everyone group up. It's not like Brian's going to throw any fireballs at us or anything.
Yeah, my name's not Castellan. You take 10 points of damage.
What, from both hits or...
Both hit, yeah, you take 10 points of damage from both.
10. You're right.
As these daggers seem to find joints in your armor, just... Second guy is going to attack Warden, because he's right there. Try to stab him. Warden's AC is 17. He's going to hit once. And do the minimum amount of damage he can do. 4 points of damage to Warden. Okay. Next up is Tolbin. Oh no, Tolbin. Sorry. You rolled a 1. Nat 1, buddy. That's what happens. We'll try and move through this. We'll try and move this faster. Alwyn, you're up. Warden, you're next. Well, he's not here, but Zar, you move on.
Oh, so I totally skipped my first go.
Yeah.
Because of the nat 1.
Yeah. But on the other side, if you get a nat 20, you go twice before anyone else.
Yeah. Alright. So I'm going to.
Hold on, what about me?
Hey, what about you?
Oh.
Oh, Castellan, I don't want you to go because you're going to cast some bullshit spell that's going to end the combat. But go on. Sorry, my bad. You go.
Alright, so I'm going now. Alright, I'm going to do it.
All right, you do it. What are you doing?
These squares are 5 feet, Brian, is that right?
They are 5 feet. That's correct. He's got to hide behind Rogar and cast Cone of Flame.
Am I still in
Stand in
your
front of
aura
Alwyn.
there, Rogo?
He is in.
So just staying within 5 foot of me is good if you can manage it.
Yeah, you are within his aura. Yeah.
No, not
Sweet.
the aura. I'm talking about. I can defend him with a shield if he gets it. But yeah, whatever. That's all right.
So I'm
Historically-
going
historically,
to cast lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt. All right, send the spell card through to roll 20 for me, and then go ahead and roll some damage. Well, you need to roll the hit on that one, don't you?
You've just been itching to use it since you
No.
got it, right?
You don't need to roll the hit for lightning bolt.
Nah.
I think maybe you do, don't you? I think you do.
No, you get a deck save.
Deck save.
Yeah. Dex
No, I think in this world you need to roll the hit. Deck save 15, 16.
16.
Ooh, he might have made it. He
So
did
it's
not.
a
He
it's
did
a
not.
slightly powerful version of the firebolt, basically.
15 damage. Is that 15 lightning damage?
Yeah.
Wow, look at how many ones you rolled in that.
Oh, yuck. 8d6. And you only got 15.
6 and you got 15.
All right.
Yeah, slightly disappointing, but you know.
I don't know. It seems right to me. Seems just.
1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. Oh,
Yeah.
God, terrible.
Alwyn, you're up, my friend.
Yeah,
That could have gone better.
he'll move there. And shoot. Can't. How do I... Okay. The same person that Castellan just shot, I'm going to shoot.
Okay.
With. Where is it? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Yeah, so it's 30 feet in front of me. So
When
plan to
we
worry
get
about.
back. Oh, sorry.
Hmm?
Never mind. Keep going. Sorry, man.
There we go.
Just 30 feet.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, go on.
Wow. So that would probably be a miss.
Would you roll? Yes, 13 is a miss. I'm sorry, my
Yeah.
friends. Warden, you're next, I believe. Yes. So
Yeah,
what's
okay.
Warden doing?
So he would probably stay. Does he have any key points left to disengage? Because he'd probably come and flank this other thing, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Do you want to check his character sheet?
Yeah, one sec.
Okay. Let's say he does have a key point left because he only used 2. Where do you want to move him?
Left. Just thinking he'd probably move to flank, but he might do sort of the same sort of deal that he did last time. Do 2 on this guy, and then move to flank the other guy and do 2.
Okay, so just roll 4 unarmed attacks, please.
Doesn't sound right.
The second two will be at advantage because he'll have thingy, won't
He will have advantage, correct? Yep.
Nice.
That'll hit.
he? Is the first two.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, we go.
That will miss.
Second one, not so great.
Not so great. They will. I mean,
They're the next two.
That 3D dice roll looked cocked to me. I think that was.
yeah, unfortunately, the second attack doesn't hit, and
Yep.
the first attack will hit and do 9 points of damage.
He's doing 4 attacks again.
Yeah,
Yeah, he said to burn key points.
Yeah.
I did.
I think he's only got 2 more key points if I remember.
Right.
Yep.
So
I can't add them on his though, so I'll write it down.
yeah. So this guy is now going to quietly shit himself.
I can't move or another. Yeah, thank you.
And he's going to reach into his pocket and he's going to pull out a couple of vials of green liquid, and he's just going to throw them right on the ground in front of Rogar, and it's going to splash onto Zar, Rogar, Tolban, and Alwyn.
You're gonna want deck saves, damn it.
Yeah, but we get advantage because we're
You don't get
plus
advantage.
5.
You get +5. I don't think Rogar gets the +5. Everybody else gets the +5.
I do. Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
And
That's
he's going to use his uncanny dodge, or he's a rogue, so he gets to disengage for free, and he's going to move this way. 1, 2, 3.
okay. So that +5. Bring it, bitch.
Oh.
so he's using a fancy ability to disengage, isn't he?
That'll be 32.
Yeah, he's a rogue. He gets to disengage for free.
Hey!
I got a nat 20. Can I hit him on the way out?
No, because it's not. But you can, in fact, if you want to, you can heal D4, but you haven't taken any damage. You haven't taken any damage. What can I give you for that nat 20?
I don't know.
What about my net 20?
I'm just checking. I mean, neither of you have
I
taken
got
any
a
damage.
really cool haircut.
So that 20 is actually a 25 with my
Yeah.
+5 to saves.
Yeah. Look, none of this does any damage to you, and in fact, invigorates you, and makes you stronger. It makes you stronger, and in fact, the next time you get, there's something about this acid that maybe it isn't what he thought it was. And certainly not the vial that splashed on you guys. Unfortunately, the vial that splashed on Tolban is in fact acid.
And my 19.
With your 19, no. In fact, it's not acid. It's also not acid. He pulled out caffeine and threw it on the ground. And
Nom.
everyone's just going nom nom nom. Like
you're 19 with the +5, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
got 25,
So-
So it's not. In fact, it's not caffeine. It's meth. You all just got hit with a cloud of meth, and you're now just a little bit high. Just a little bit though. But he is now back here.
Yeah.
Zar,
Sorry?
Zar, you're up.
He was this guy, yeah?
It was that guy, yeah.
And do we get any bonuses now?
You will get +4 on your next die 20 roll,
You.
but only on your next roll.
Yeah, I'm going to chase after him
Okay.
and attempt to hit him with my fancy Shadow Blade.
Okay.
And then I get D4 on that, don't I? Which is not going
Shadow Blade is a 7 +1. I'm assuming.
No, those are the one. I'm not sure what those extra rolls are. Why it's doing extra rolls on that.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm looking at the...
1d4 is not going to help anyway.
Yeah. You can roll it, see what happens. You might get a 20 on a d4.
That'd be a 2.
It's going to be 2. Still, a 10 will not hit this guy, unfortunately. Rogar, you're up. Castellan, you're next.
Someone kill this guy while he's near.
Okay. I can't get to the other side of him. That's too far to move. I'm just gonna have to go to here, unfortunately.
Do we want to kill him or do we want to just knock him out?
Huh.
Remember, I can become.
Given the choice, murder is always the best option.
Well, yeah, being murder hobos and all.
Yeah, I'm. What's the rules on charging again? Should I just charge?
You can't do it again in this encounter.
Oh, really? Once per encounter. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. I will.
Considering otherwise, you need to take a feat. I think I'm being pretty generous.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I hit him twice.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
And as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on myself. Why not? Is anyone badly hurt, actually?
No.
No. I've taken 6, but that's it.
Yeah, okay. No, that doesn't... Okay, that's all. All that does is send that to that screen. Okay. Attacks. Actions. One of those. Go. Normal roll. Maybe.
We'll hit.
The second one more.
Will also hits. How do you want this guy to go down, Jamie?
I should have said that this was unsubdual damage, but I didn't.
You didn't. Sorry, mate.
I was going to say I was going to sweep his legs and try and take out his
accidentally kill someone.
Yeah, in his bloodlust, I guess is I'm hitting him straight in the back as he's running away. As soon as he started running, I chased him down and planted a hammer straight into the back, in the middle of his back.
All right. So this guy turns and runs to get distance from you, and Rogar sort of just goes, "Huh," and runs forward, charges, brings down his hammer, bang, takes out this guy's shoulder, comes back the other way, bang, and literally just fucking mashes this guy's head. Like there is not very much left to identify this guy.
How many people of the regular public are currently standing around?
Yeah.
It's pretty deserted as of about 3 seconds ago.
Look, they started it. I just finished it, okay?
Yeah, all right. Castellan, you're next, my friend.
What are the other two
And
up to?
as part of that, as he died, I, because I'm standing next to him, I'm in range, I've just, absorbed, you see, a shadow come out of his body and into me as I absorb his shadow so that I can become...
Is that a reaction?
It just says when a humanoid dies within 30 feet of me.
Okay.
Says, yeah, so I can use the shadow as an action at a later date, and then it lasts for an hour.
All right.
Another ability that someone has been busting to try out.
Oh, yeah. Why do you think I asked which one looks like the leader?
No.
Oh, I can take the one that's more important.
I think they're all disguised as
Is Gaz frozen again? No.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What do you want to do, man?
Well, in keeping with character, Brian, I was planning on casting a fireball, but now that these guys have kind of gotten all up in my line of sight and stuff, I can't really do that. So
Well, you
think what
could,
I'm
but
going
I'd
to
rather
do-
you didn't.
Is that like a tacit approval, Jamie?
This guy's out in the open.
Yeah, that guy's open.
I think fire is the only element that Jamie isn't resistant to at this point.
And Ghost, well, I
He's
regret that
also
choice.
not resistant to Alwyn's arrow.
Yeah, he's not resistant to Alwyn's arrows.
Yeah, we've proven that
Yeah,
too.
neither am I,
Thanks,
it
Alan.
turns out.
Castellan, so what do you want to do?
I'm going to... just give me 1 second. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move. Hold on. And I'm then going to cast Magic Missile at 3rd level.
Oof.
I missed it.
What's that, like 6 bolts?
Let me check.
It's 3 at level 1. That's 5.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah,
What?
it's just done that. So go D4. So just click on the dice roller, and it should open up a box for you, and then you can go roll 1d. So 5d4 plus 5, I think it is.
Is that like I choose the number 5, or do I just click D4 5 times?
No, so
So click on the actual dice roller button instead
If
of
you-
hovering it over. Or you can do
Yeah,
what
but
Sergeant.
once you get enough, do I click?
Yeah,
can just
what Zardoz
Then it's
typed
got
out. So
advanced dice roller. Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
Sar's right. You can type
Sar's
in
right.
/roll 5d4 plus 5.
yeah, do that. That's probably easier. Once again, stream, thanks for hanging around. Professionalism plus.
Nice.
Oh, 19 on
plus
this
the
guy
other
here, right?
4. Is that right? Oh no, that's total.
That's total, yeah.
I like that he only got 1s and 4s.
Yeah, it's symmetrical. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
It's not
Four
symmetrical.
fours and ones, so that's
It's symmetrical because I say it is.
No, you have to switch the first 1 and 4 to make it symmetrical.
To make it palindromic.
Yeah, well, same deal when you're talking about symmetry there, right?
For anybody watching on the stream, so Cassandra has to swear when she casts a spell, so this one is fuck you in particular.
Yeah. So this character, this guy here is going to. He's going to step forward to here, and he's going to attack Warden twice with knives.
Well, actually, hold on, Brian, just a second. So, did that guy not go down?
He did not go down.
Okay, sweet. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my bonus action to summon my Hound of Ill Omen.
Okay.
Ooh, this is new.
Let's see if I have a token for.
what is a Hound of Ill Omen? Just to curiosity.
Nothing
Like
good.
Take a level of warlock.
Hound of
Actually,
Hell,
yeah, it's
but
my
only
new
naughty.
Undead?
ability that I got.
Demon? What is that?
Hold on, I'll see if I can pass it through.
Is it like a zombie dog or something?
Maybe.
But I just would like to know if Castellan's doing a bit of necromancy next to me.
In which case you turn around and punch him in the face.
Look, I put it into Roll20, it's like Hound of Ill Omen. Okay, we knew that already.
Yeah, that's not very useful, is it?
Yeah, it's a hound, and it's of ill omen. I'm going to give you.
Oh, so it's just a dog. Right, okay. Jolly good. carry on.
Yeah, so basically it's like a dire wolf made of shadows.
There we go. So you should be able to control that now. It's a picture of a drake, but I'll get you a picture of a dark doggy later.
Sweet. Have you guys seen that movie Attack the Block? Those aliens, there's those like cool aliens in it, and they've like they kind of look like they're not just made of shadows, but they like absorb all light. So they're like these weird like furry creatures, but like they're like pitch black except for like their mouth and their eyes. I always like envision it to look like that.
Cool.
All right. Okay, so not necromancy, more demonology. Great.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a shadow sorcerer thing.
Yeah, you know, every time I hit someone, they're like screaming in pain and clutching their head. And
Yeah.
you know, this like dog appears made out of shadow. You're in the wrong place.
Okay, so that guy hit with both of his attacks on Warden. And we'll do 4 points of damage. Yay! The least he can possibly do.
You're rolling well today, Brian.
That might actually mean that Warden's standing still.
Yeah. Let's... for the sake of theme and hilarity, we're just going to assume that Warden is successfully making his concentration check to keep reading his book, unless he goes down, in which case we'll get him. Well, yeah, he'll have to stop reading the book because he's dead. So
yeah, fair enough.
yeah. So this guy is now facing off again. This guy, I was pointing at the screen like you guys could see what I was doing. So this guy here is now facing off next to a dog that is drinking in all the available light, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it at all. So he's going to take out a bunch of vials and splash it in front of the dog. And you will need to make a dexterity saving throw for the dog, please, Castellan. Just roll a d20. I don't know if you have its dexterity stat.
It's got temporary hit points equal to half your sorcerer level. So what? 3?
8. 8 will fail, and it will take. That's cocked. Everybody saw it. It was cocked.
So it's 3, but it's plus the dire wolf's usual hit points, right? So that's over and above and normal.
Oh, I see. Yeah, gotcha.
So it takes 4 points of damage from the acid, and this guy uses his uncanny dodge, well, basically his rogue disengage to move to here. And that's
where did he move?
And also, apparently, Brian, we need to roll initiative for the hound.
All right, roll a d20 for the hound. 17, you did. So the hound goes after Zar. No, after Rogar.
Okay, cool. So, with my gnarled forest club, I'm going to yell "Eketh Thump" and smack it to the ground.
Yep.
And that's what it does for anyone in the stream who wants to have a look. And I am going to move up to... Actually, I'm going to move dunk, 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 and smack him in the back with a lovely little flank.
Okay.
If I may.
You may.
Alrighty, so that's rolling with advantage.
Avantage.
Okay. Advantage.
Advantage.
Alrighty, so that is a
Thank
dirty
God for that.
25
Dirty 25 and 10
with
points
10
of
bludgeoning damage.
Okay. So you essentially run a circle around this guy and come up and go, bang! And you smack him in the head, and he stumbles forward, and you've hit him solidly. He's not doing well.
Nice. So yeah, that was my bonus action to cast Shillelagh and my action to hit him in the back of the head. So that's me done.
Okay, so I fucked up because I thought this guy was still alive, but he is not. And this guy would not have run there, but it is too late because that's where he is. That's where he lives now.
I was curious about that.
Right there, he lives right there. Okay, Alwyn, you're up.
I was wondering why he went there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's flanking with his dead buddy.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Good luck. Yeah.
Did you say flanking or something else?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Alwyn, you're up, buddy. Warden, you're next. So
I'm gonna shoot this. Can you see anything when I double click on the map?
If you click and hold, we can.
you click and hold, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, cool.
You're gonna shoot Rogar? That's a bold choice.
Well, historically, yes.
Please don't. I'd like to get through a combat where the enemy has done more damage to me than you have.
Well, see how we
That'd
go.
be good.
Okay.
All right. So, actually, yep. So, Planar Warrior and crossbow. Clicky, clicky. Ugh. Okay.
19. Yeah, these dice do not represent what's happening over here.
Yes. Why is there two of them?
Why are you at plus 10?
That's just normal.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got plus 10 to hit.
What?
Yeah.
Ranger BS.
It's fucking bullshit. Plus 10 to hit.
Yeah.
No, that's so
Why-
overpowered, right?
Why you couldn't have the Shadow Blade been a rapier instead? I'd still have my plus 7 to hit instead of plus 3.
Anyway, righto. Yeah, you do hit and do 12 points of damage. He's looking real bad.
Hang on. There we go. Oops. Did that double click. Plus another 7.
Yeah.
To Planar Warrior.
So it's a 19 from 412 is the thing is that many. That's many he has left. No, wait. That many. Okay, so he goes down onto one knee, bloody, and is close to dying. Warden is up. Zar.
He might just double punch the guy in front of him.
Okay. So he's just going to attack twice to the guy in front of him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And it's subdual damage, right?
Cool.
Smacks the guy over the head with a book.
musical damage. Magical damage. He's got flank, so he's got advantage on both of them as well.
Uh, 22 is going to hit. 5 is...
And there's the second one.
18 will hit, so it's 11. Okay. And Zar, what are you doing?
Okay, let me look. I might just try and stab the guy that's in front of me. I can move around him to flank without getting an attack of opportunity, can't I? Because I'm not moving out of his range.
Where
Guy
were
next to
you?
Warden didn't go down, right?
I was there.
Yeah. Where do you want to move?
The guy's on one knee.
You. Oh no, you're fine. Yep, you can do that.
attacking at advantage.
Advantage.
I thought
And
it provokes if you move that.
19.
I also,
19 will hit.
I also do an extra D8 on top of that because of the.
Yep.
So I do that much.
So, how do you want him to die?
As I sort of hit him, like again, the sort of feel that resistance kind of thing, but then he sort of just puts both hands on the side of his head and just starts screaming in pain, and you kind of see blood leak out of his ear as the psychic damage.
And you're allowed to work with children? Yeah, so Zar dashes.
This is why her class behaves.
Yeah.
It was non-lethal psychic damage, right? So
No.
Zar dashes in front of this guy, and her sword lashes out, catching him across the throat. Initially, the cut itself isn't all that deep, but it seems to like pulse and then open wide, and blood pours out of this guy's neck. He holds his hands on his head and just screams, "Ah!" as blood trickles between his fingers, and he falls down dead.
Yeah.
Rogar, you managed to avoid being splashed by blood this time round. Zar, not so much.
how did that happen? Yeah, okay.
I'm glad I gave you that sword now. I think that makes it worthwhile.
Who's up?
You are, Rogar.
I am.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I am going to run over to the guy that's still alive.
Yeah.
I am going to try and grapple him.
Okay, go
and
ahead.
Intimidate him into surrendering.
Make a strength check, I guess. Just be your strength.
Strength?
Yep.
Ugh. That's terrible.
Yeah, unfortunately, well, he has to beat it with, he'll try and use, yeah, he could roll a 1. He does not. And he, as you go to grab him, he just pushes your hand away and just stands there ready for the next attack.
Can I try and grapple again with my second attack?
I don't know. Let's. I don't know. I haven't come across that yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
How would you play it?
Grapple 5e. No. You know what? I don't know, and let's keep it moving. Let's say that you can.
All right, I'm going to try again, but I'm also throwing in an intimidate in there. I'm shouting at him to surrender or you will die.
All right, roll me an
I'm
intimidate.
trying to save the idiot because all the other people around me, they're all going to try and kill him within seconds. If
I'm drinking what you're pouring. Make me an intimidation check.
Okay, so the intimidation is that. And the second attempt to grapple him.
I'll give you advantage on the grapple attack.
Oh, okay. Yep. If I do that and then advantage, submit. Still not very good rolls. Damn.
Yeah, it's not great. He's gonna try and get out of that. And yeah, unfortunately, he just gets out of it. Like you grab him, you feel purchase on him, and you grab a hold of his armor underneath his shirt for a second, and he just reaches out of it, and he's back ready to fight. What does your hound want to do, Castellan?
Was there any impact from the intimidation? Is he even contemplating surrender?
Easier to hit.
He when you said, "Hey, stop or you will die," he sort of froze for a second, and that's what gave you advantage on that roll.
Oh, right.
So Brian, the dude that I summoned the hound on, is he the dead one?
He is here now.
No, sweet. And that means my hound still hangs around and can attack him.
Oh, that guy's still up, is he?
Oh no, he's dead.
The guy that died.
Oh no, he died. Yeah, he died.
Yeah, he's down.
Screaming agony.
Yeah, bleeding from the ears.
Yeah, he's
So he
bleeding
was
from the
on
ears.
Only this guy's left. The one I'm trying to get to surrender.
Mate,
The hound disappears.
I am the best GM, chat. On top of it.
You can get rid of the hound because if the target is dead, then the hound goes away until I summon it.
Hound goes away. Alright, we'll send him away. There you go.
Still enjoyed summoning him though, so it was totally worth the 3 sorcerer.
Totally worth it.
Totally worth it.
So worth it.
So, Castellan, you're up because your hound is gone.
So this dude that's left, has he been damaged yet?
Yeah, he's still on me.
Yeah, I smacked him in the head.
Yeah.
And sorry, Rogar, Castellan's coming in for the kill. You know he's not going to live through this.
Non-lethal firebolt.
Non-lethal firebolt. I think we discussed this. I think we agreed that the idea of a
I'm going
non.
to try.
And
You
if
can use
Castellan
the
doesn't
blood
kill
end of the
him,
firebolt.
Sullivan's turn.
I know it's off brand, but I do see the value in taking this dude alive. Like, can I non-lethal magic missiles?
I have a hard time.
What if
seeing-
I
Shoot his
like
things out.
I have a really hard time seeing how that would happen. But if you can tell me how you think you can use an ethereal magical bolt full of force energy to
Pin his feet to the ground.
non-lethally hurt the guy, I'm listening.
I intentionally target his legs, like below the knee. I just want to kneecap.
Then
him.
you'd be like breaking his bones and arteries inside his legs, and he would still die.
Oh, well.
I do a lot of non-lethal stuff, guys. It's just it's just not my bag.
But
You can
finding out
hold.
who he works for would be useful.
You can hold his action until after Tolban is gone, or after he goes, if you want. You can hold your
So
action.
who goes after me?
He goes, and then Tolban.
Castellan, just juggle a fireball menacingly and roll an intimidation. See if that make him surrender.
What I'm going to do, so out of us, Tolban goes after me, right? After him, to me.
Tolban goes after. So next is him, and then Tolban.
And you know that Torben likes to murder because he does heal his friends, so he has to murder his enemies.
Well, I like Tolban, man. That's why we get along. Because we're on the same page.
You never know what I'm going to do.
I try not to go along with plans too much.
Plans. Screw
Right,
plans.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Haste, because that's one of my new spells I haven't
Yep.
used yet. So I'm going to give that a go, and I'm going to cast it on top.
Right. So that just gives him what next turn?
I think it's 1 minute, isn't it? Yep,
Yeah.
1 minute.
Speed is doubled. It gains 2 bonus AC.
Okay.
Advantage on dex saving throws.
Haste is awesome.
This guy is going to panic because he is surrounded literally almost on all sides. And he's going to pull out some vials of acid. And he's going to throw them down onto the ground and try.
And I'm yelling at him, don't do it, man, don't do it.
And then he's going to, and it will encompass Tolban, Rogar, and Warden. And then he will roll me dexterity saving throws, please. Everybody gets.
Is he really throwing acid at me?
He really is.
At a copper dragonborn. Yeah, good.
He really is.
Well done. Radio.
Hey, come back. You're off my screen.
There you go. So make those dexterity saving throws +5, please.
Oh, you can. Oh, yeah, my.
You also. Oh, you don't. You've got +0 dex, do you, Tolban?
Yeah, that's why I was just able to do
20.
My roll is including the +5.
Oh, okay.
Your rolls- Okay.
My +5 on saves is in my saving throws box. I just noticed.
Okay.
It clearly doesn't convey to other people's.
Somebody roll for. I'll roll for. Gordon. I got it. I got it. Oof. So the only person that takes damage is Tolbin. And Tolbin takes
Alrighty.
5 points of acid damage.
Yeah.
And then this guy gets the fuck out.
And we get amazing attacks of opportunity against him.
No, because he uses a disengage action to get out.
Oh, stupid
Yeah, but Tolbin's got a move of 60 at the moment because of haste for a minute, so good luck getting away.
You're welcome.
This is as far as he can get to. So
Does it also change my AC?
it does. You get +2 to AC.
Yeah, +2 to AC, yep.
So it's not thing.
Yeah, Gaz just put the spell up before in the chat thing.
Yeah, cool. Alrighty. Is it my turn now?
Sure is.
Alrighty, let's see what nastiness I can do with spells. Alrighty, so do I have any which auto hit?
You have an additional action as well, Matt.
So can I use that for 2 attacks, Brian?
Yeah, do you ordinarily only have one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can use another attack action.
Cool. Moonbeam. Full lightning. Ooh, I can do plant growth. So
How would
that
you use
one-
plant growth in this situation? Not that I'm saying don't. I'm just interested to know how.
Are there any
moss
vines
and
in there?
weeds in the cobblestones and stuff. There's always weeds and stuff in cobblestones. They could potentially come up and grapple him, I think.
Okay.
The creature moving through the area must spend 4 feet of movement for every 1 foot.
You gonna do that?
First of all, I'm going to run round to this side just to get all up in his grill and smack him in the head with my shillelagh first. See how that goes, and then I'll assess what happens after that.
Okay. So I'm gonna. What's your spellcasting DC?
Spell attack.
Spell attack, yeah.
Oh, save DC is 15.
15. All right. So I'm gonna roll against the grapple on your spell DC.
Which grapple?
Aren't you using plant growth to grapple him?
No. First of all, I'm hitting him in the head with my shillelagh.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm going to attack him.
All right. And
I'll see.
But
see where that
gently,
goes.
right? Gently.
are you? I'm gonna throw Jamie a bone. Are you using non-lethal?
No.
Okay.
Intentionally.
All right. In that case, throw your attack there, mate.
I tried to be nice to these guys. I tried to be friends with them, and they went and attacked me for it. So
It's really black and white with you, isn't it?
Yep.
I did try and stab it down.
all right. Normal roll. Ugh, that's hideous.
That will not hit. I'm afraid.
No, it won't. I probably should have tried to entangle him first.
Could do it now.
I
Oh, that's a
could.
shame. So many people that just want to murder.
No, I'm just gonna go try and hit him upside the head again.
Okay, go ahead. Make that attack roll.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that's definitely a solid hit.
Solid hit too, yeah.
But he's still got lots of inputs, right, Brian? Right.
You've
I don't know
solid.
why it's showing the D8 twice.
Yeah, I don't know either. You've solidly hit this guy, and he's gone down to one knee, and now it is Alwyn's turn.
Okay.
And you non-lethally hit someone with
Can
an
I
arrow?
move over
In
there?
my experience, no.
Yeah, you can take an arrow to the knee.
True.
Yeah, well,
Did he
Why
used
did
to be
he
an
never hit
adventurer?
me in the neck?
going to yeah. I want to know why he thinks we shouldn't have kept the money. So I'm going to try and grapple him.
Okay,
I don't know how to
that's
do
a
that
strength
in this.
check. Just roll me your strength.
Okay.
Exhaust.
Very weak.
Does he get advantage since he's flanked?
He is not flanked.
Oh.
And 6.
Not
I-
good.
He's-
Twice, though.
He's probably going to beat this. He beats it. That was your first attack action. Do you want to try again?
I'm gonna try and attack him with my dagger in his, sort of just try and jab his leg with the dagger.
Yeah, so like non-lethal, like you want to disable him.
Yeah, yeah. What?
So
Oh
I hate you.
make me another attack roll, please.
I hate you so hard right now.
It's not my fault.
Good.
It's on brand, though.
Okay, so you go to stab this guy in the leg, and you literally like you fall on a cobblestone or something, narrowly missing Tolban, only by dint of the fact that he's now sort of vibrating in another plane of of movement. But you do tumble through and end up here. You are now in the fountain that is represented by this square.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, and your next and in your next move, you will only have one action.
Get him before he gets off the map.
Okay, Warden is up. Where do you want to move Warden to?
Warden's going to just jump in and flank him with Tolban and whack.
Now, would Warden use lethal?
I think so. This guy attacked us first, and Warden tends to, if they attack first, it's.
I actually think that Warden would use non-lethal following Rogar's lead. To be honest,
Yeah.
he's not quite as bloodthirsty as the rest of you.
True.
He's still trying to read a book.
Yeah,
He is trying to read a book. Yeah.
He does sort of side eye the water next to him, but his book is still sort of in that that weird gyroscopic not moving while he moves around it.
In that case, he's protecting his book. I'm going to get it flanked with Alwyn instead, so he's a little bit further away from the water.
He doesn't have the movement. He does because he can move diagonally.
Yeah, just protect. He looks at the water and goes, no, fuck that shit, and just moves across a little bit so he's not close to the water.
Okay, he's at advantage.
Alrighty. Non-lethal. That's an at 20.
It's an at 20. That'll do it. So the max, what you can do? 1d6 plus 3, so 9 plus roll another d6 for me.
And he could probably throw a stunning strike on that if needed.
He's got another attack.
15. So he just sort of leans forward, looks at the water, steps to the side, slides around and goes bang, 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 like that, and hits the guy like 3 times in the chest. And he just goes, ooh, ooh, and falls down, like gasping. This guy is out of the fight.
Can I coup de grace him now?
No!
We are out of attack, so if you want a coup de grace, yeah.
Well, as soon as it's Rogar's turn, he's moving in there to restrain him.
All right. As
Stop
soon as
him
anyone
drowning
gets
in the
in my
fountain
way, I'll stop.
starters.
It should be there. Okay. Is that what you're doing? Are you coup de gracing him?
Well, if Jamie goes to stop me, if Rogar goes to stop me, I'll
I'm running at him, but I was running as soon as he was running away. If you want to put it
I'm
in
not
dramatic.
terribly convinced of what's happening here.
But I'm yelling, no, we need him alive. As I'm seeing a dagger being ready to plunge into his unconsciousness.
Looking at what's just happened, I don't think we need him alive.
So you guys, can everybody please roll a perception check for me?
Two.
Don't roll ones.
Don't say that before we roll, because you know what will happen now.
Roll wardens as well.
Yeah.
I did the opposite.
Nice, natural 20. So when you're charging over here, you see out of the corner of your eye that Tolbin has stopped. He's not going to kill the guy. And as you're moving, you see these guys, and you move to here if you want to interpose yourself between the two. They have swords and shields. They are moon elves, and they look pissed off. You also notice that they have the symbol, the house symbol of a Gandua on their chests.
Lovely.
That's the Lord we killed, right?
It's the Lord you killed. This one holds up a hand and sort of says to his men, "Stop." And he looks about the devastation around, and he says, "Why am I not surprised at this rabble causing more trouble in the city?"
Do these guys work for you? Did you hire them to attack us?
If I wanted you dead, Dragon Man, you would be dead. Now, your presence is requested at the house of Agandua.
That's good. If it's just requested, then we don't need to go.
And that's where we're going to finish the session for today.
Excellent.
Okay. All right, guys. On the stream, thanks so much for sticking through all of the crazy stuff. We'll get in contact with A10 and make sure that they get the code. And we're going to try and do that. I think every session that we stream, we'll give away a Steam code. All right, guys. Thank you so much again. We're going to stop the stream here. Alrighty. See you next time.
Cheers.